under threat by all of these individuals who are trying to target them.
That's right, and so the left is thinking outside the box. They do. If you've noticed this, they put out the verbiage first, and then the action occurs. So whether they're actually pushing these people to do the acts or they're just encouraging them, individuals are going out and doing this, and it's no surprise that it's happened in Texas, because whether or not people realize this, Texas in the big cities is turned not just blue, but I would say they've turned almost communist. Antifa is in Texas, and we see this violence that occurs there as well.
Well, thank you so much for acting so quickly to get on and address this matter. Breaking news, if you will, with our viewers. We appreciate it. Jonathan Gilliam.
Thank you.
Stay with us, folks. First Edition will be right back after the break.
Nothing is off limits to David Harris Jr., and there's no apologies, because he's armed with common sense, real faith, and the truth. Don't miss him on The Pulse tonight.
Hi, my name is Damian Clark. If you have both Medicare and Medicaid, I have some really encouraging news that you'll definitely want to hear. Depending on the plans available in your area, you may be eligible to get extra benefits with the Humana Medicare Advantage Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan. Most plans include the Humana Healthy Options Allowance, a monthly allowance to help pay for eligible groceries, utilities, rent, and over-the-counter items. The Healthy Options Allowance is loaded onto a prepaid card each month, and whatever you don't spend carries over from each month. Plus, your doctor, hospital, and pharmacy may already be part of our large Humana networks. So call the number on your screen now and ask about a Humana Medicare Advantage Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan. Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
Hi folks, we're back. If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
Is your shower trying to tell you something? Is getting in and out of the bathtub becoming a safety concern? Are you worried about the cost of a bathroom remodel that could go on for weeks and weeks? Well, now you can have a gorgeous new bath or shower with a one-day jacuzzi bath remodel that's safer at a price you can afford. We're waiving all installation costs and postponing all payments for up to 1 year.
Oh my gosh, it is beautiful. Oh.
From soft close shower doors and adjustable shower heads to features like grab bars and custom seats that combine safety and style, it's never been easier. Get your free design consultation, schedule your one-day installation, and start loving your new bath or shower right away.
Call or go online right now. We're waiving all installation costs and offering no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Go to jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 800-991-2603. Call now.
Stay with Newsmax and Newsmax 2 for the latest on the shooting at the Dallas ICE facility this morning.
Yes, and also stay tuned for live coverage of Ukrainian President Zelensky speaking at the United Nations shortly at 9:15 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, the thing is that, you know, we got to actually get back to civility.
Yes.
And comment.
Wake up to Friends in the Morning, Perry and Jerry. Weekdays on Mornings on the Dove. Encouraging and informative, the Dove TV.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove, where just about anything goes here, including Jerry Belden. Yes, sir.
Yeah, has the FCC checked into this?
Well, you know, I was going to call Chairman Carr and say, hey, are we okay?
Are they preoccupied with Kimmel?
Well, you know, it's interesting. He went back on the air last night. I saw bits and pieces of it. It is what it is. But the real story behind it is that two of the largest owners of ABC affiliates said no.
Yeah, was it Nexstar and
Sinclair?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, 40 plus ABC affiliates across the country didn't carry the program.
Wow.
So this sets up a new argument. I talked to Troy Miller about this yesterday. This sets up a new argument of affiliation agreements between stations and a network like ABC. Okay. ABC is a network. It's not. They do have stations, but it's a company that provides content. And so when you have 40-plus affiliates saying we're not going to carry a program because it's not in the best interest of the public, I think they have market exclusivity, which they have to protect. So it's a new day. I mean, I've been in this thing for a long time, and all of a sudden we got new problems going on.
Yes, indeed.
So I have, the only thing. Anyway, so much for that. Let's move on. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. One more warm day.
Yeah, today and then about 10 degrees off tomorrow, going back down.
Yeah, and what's interesting about all this is it's sure nice late evenings.
Yeah.
It cools off really fast.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I got enough acorns to sink a ship.
Isn't it interesting? Every fall we have the acorn discussion and what it means.
It means,
if anything,
it's God's way of fattening the deer and the outdoor animals for the winter because they are high in fat.
Does God provide extra acorns on the seasons that He's going to give us a lot of snow and moisture? How does it work?
Okay, now I don't mean this in any kind of a disparaging way. Okay. So what I'm about to say, hang on.
All right.
Indians had this down. They figured it out. Okay. They could feel the seasons better than anybody else and predict them. Yeah. And part of it was if it's a early heavy acorn fall, that's an indication of a pretty intense winter.
Okay. Well, it was funny.
And I think there's some real science behind that.
Yeah. Well, Pam and I were out doing stuff in the yard yesterday, and we paused. We were chatting for a second. All of a sudden, she heard a.
Yeah.
She goes, "What was that?" I said, "Acorn."
Yeah. I know. They hit your gutter.
Yeah.
You think a gun went off.
Absolutely.
Anyway, good morning to you. A lot going on in the news. There always is. Quite the speech yesterday at the UN. A little bit of highlights on that. Jimmy Kimmel went back on the air last night, but I think it was a whole lot of nothing, which, okay, we'll go with that. Yeah. And what do you got?
Put an exclamation mark on it. It is National Punctuation Day. Oh. Does anybody use it anymore? Is anybody writing, long form and putting a period and a comma and a semicolon, the things that we used to do on a daily basis? But now we're texting so much, and, especially voice texting. And so we're rarely putting. Have you ever put in, like, say, a period or a comma, and it wrote it out?
Yeah.
As your voice texting?
I'm a little annoyed at WordCheck.
Are you? Yeah, because it changes stuff. Right. You have to proofread every voice text you have.
But the good news is. Everybody else is making the same mistake, so it's become acceptable.
It is, yeah. And then the process of texting gets real dry anyway. It's hard to convey the same emotions that you speak with. Yeah. So we start putting emojis in, like smiling or a heart or so, to soften things a little bit. Yeah. Even guys are doing it.
Yeah, we have a soft side.
Okay. All right. It is National Women's Health and Fitness Day, promoting the largest, I didn't know this, the largest women's event for health of all ages. Across the country, an estimated 80,000 to 100,000 women of all ages gather at local health and fitness events. They join in groups large and small, from senior centers to hospitals, parks, and health clubs. Women of all fitness levels encourage each other to begin or continue a healthy journey. And here to that.
Yeah.
It's I love it when I see Pam got her little barbells out going, and she's going, "Oh no, Jerry, don't go here."
Oh, really?
And, I love it. And she's got a little video going in the exercise room, and
really?
And they're leading the workout, and she's doing it. And by the way, have I mentioned she looks fabulous?
So let me ask you, she works out in her Carhartt overall.
It's gardening. It's gardening.
Just thought I'd ask.
Okay, moving on.
All right.
We got one thing to eat. It is dessert. It's National Cherries Jubilee Day.
All right.
And crediting is Auguste Escoffier, who receives the credit for the Cherries Jubilee recipe. And he knew Queen Victoria's fondness for cherries, so he prepared a dish for one of her Jubilee celebrations. And
Thanks, Logan.
it was a big hit. Yeah, we got our water. Oh, look at those things. Those are huge.
They're soup.
Anyway, he had this particular chef had a knack for simplicity and elegance. He also created the peach Melba in honor of Nellie Melba, whoever that might be. But Cherries Jubilee, with the ice cream cherries, it looks good.
Yeah, I like cherries. One of my favorite is cherry pie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we know that. I'm looking at Cherries Jubilee.
Yeah.
It's good. We're moving on. Robots have been in the workplace for a long time. But have you ever heard of a butt robot?
A what?
A butt robot. A post that popped up on Reddit claims that Samsung once created a butt-shaped robot to sit on all its phones to test their durability. It turns out it's absolutely true. According to the company, the butt robot was used in 2014 and 2018. Outfitted in blue jeans, the robot repeatedly sat on handsets to test how well each one held up to 220 pounds of pressure. At the time, Samsung also used talking dummies to test call quality and chambers to simulate extreme weather, but it was definitely the butt robot that got the most buzz.
Really?
Yes. Do you keep your phone in your back pocket?
You know, sometimes, but you know what's interesting to me is I see people with their phones in their back pockets.
Yep.
Sitting on park benches, riding their bikes, and I'm thinking, you're going to lose that thing.
Right. Yeah, the butt robot tested it as far as not being able to bend it or anything, but how about keeping it in your pocket? Yeah, I agree.
All right, so we came on the show this morning, we forgot our little cups.
Yeah.
So we asked our crew to bring us some cup of water.
Yeah, we need something to drink.
Look at this.
I know.
Look at the size of this thing. Huh? Look at this.
Cheers. That's awesome.
I got these at the NRB show.
Wow.
Which is a high-tech show. And these are actually made so you can have your soup in it.
I was going to say, this make a great cup of soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks,
you
Logan.
realize I'm on the air for 3 hours. There's no way I can drink this and stay on the air for 3 hours.
Good luck.
All right, let's check out the weather.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With high pressure keeping things warm today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, sunny skies with daytime highs near 83 in Vancouver, 84 in Portland, and near 87 for Wilsonville and McMinnville. Continuing sunny as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime high temperatures near 87 all the way from Salem through Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with a light north wind this afternoon. Hazy skies this morning across central Oregon, then sunny and near 90 in Prineville and mid-80s for Bend and Sun River with a light and variable wind. A nice day in Boise, Idaho, sunny with a high in the mid-80s. Sunny skies along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the upper 70s around Coos Bay, near 70 in Port Orford, upper 50s in Brookings, and upper 60s for Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, sunny and hot for the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-upper 90s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. Sunny skies in the Klamath Basin with highs in the upper 80s and lows in the upper 40s. Into northern California, sunny in Wairika with a high in the low 90s, through Redding in the mid-90s, Chico near 90, and a high in the mid-80s around Sacramento with a south wind 6 to 8 miles per hour. In the Bay Area, partly sunny in upper 70s in Santa Rosa, mostly cloudy in upper 70s in Napa, partly sunny with a chance of afternoon thunderstorms in mid-70s in San Francisco and in San Jose with a high near 80. A snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, a beautiful shot. It looks like we just throw that up every morning because it doesn't change a whole lot, but there it is. That is our shot from Roxanne. It's a live shot this morning, looking to the northeast a little bit. and the nice sunrise coming up over Mount McLaughlin. You know, I was looking, sitting outside last night, just enjoying nothing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I was looking at Mount McLaughlin. No snow on it, not even a speck.
Not even a speck. Yep.
So we've had really a great summer.
Yes, we have.
So good stuff.
Well, Pastor Greg Laurie is here, and he looks at the secret to happiness as a Christian.
This is the idea of just consistency. I was telling those kids last night, you know, the secret to the Christian life is consistency. I think we're all looking for the big emotional experience. And I'm going to go to church and have this encounter with God, or go to that retreat and everything's going to change. And I'm not in any way suggesting God can't move at certain moments in our life. But here's what I'm saying. The real secret sauce of Christianity is daily obedience to God. One person defined it as long obedience in the same direction. It's walking by faith, not by feeling. And the problem is, you know, we have these emotional highs and lows and these ups and these downs, and we're at the height of the mountain, then we crash and burn. It's consistency. It's walking with God. If you want to be a happy person, you need to walk with God.
That is a great word. That really is consistency in a lot of things in life.
Do you ever not feel like it?
Yeah.
Because you know what's interesting, I was thinking about the Psalms, and David was, he had moments where he had to tell his soul what to do.
Yeah, he went through some depression issues.
He clearly went through depression.
Yeah.
So I think what you say, there's times in there where he's saying, bless the Lord, oh my soul. Basically, he's yelling at himself.
Yeah.
Soul, bless the Lord.
Okay.
Anyway,
yeah,
that's what he's saying.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you have to tell yourself, snap out of it.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
I'm opening a new branch of the Dove. It's called Get a Grip Ministries.
We strive for consistency.
Okay.
Yes, all right. I love it.
All right, let's take a look at some of the top stories this morning. And we got all kinds of things going on. First of all, the president yesterday did an amazing turnabout late in the day. It looks like he is now 100% in Ukraine's camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
He went from, remember the White House blow-up?
Oh, gosh, yeah. Yes.
But he made a point yesterday. He said this war's been going on for 3 years, and we all thought that Russia had the capabilities to finish the job, and apparently they don't. And you and I have talked about how unsophisticated the ground army of Russia seems to be.
Right, right.
Their tanks are like tin cans with wheels on them, and they just you blew on them, they fell apart.
Right,
you know?
yes.
So anyway, the motive behind this is the killing, and the president said it's got to stop. So yesterday he indicated with the United States and NATO that Ukraine should take back all their land. This is a huge, huge turnaround. What does this mean? And I think it's also in somewhat response to Russia just provoking things by flying drones over Poland and aircraft over Estonia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, here's the president's comments.
It's been a terrible war, should have ended, and Russia should have stopped it. But they've been 3.5 years and they've gotten not so far. So we'll see what happens. But the other side can fight too, and they've proven that. Maybe it could be that Russia's a paper tiger. I don't know what they are, but 3.5 years of fighting and killing everybody, of killing 7,000 people a week for nothing. Nothing. So it's a very sad situation, but most of you have seen the recent statement I put out a little while ago, and I'm glad you got it. But I feel that way. I really do feel that way. Let them get their land back. Yep. So we'll see how it all works out.
Well, this is interesting. This is an amazing twist of things, and I think it's this is going to be a game changer.
Yeah, it is. And but you know, he's still not done with the Allies buying energy sources from Russia. He's kind of hammering our allies.
That's coming.
Yeah, you think so?
I think that's coming.
Okay.
And you know what I also think's in the back of his mind?
What?
Is the ultimate natural resource deal.
For
the rare earth material.
Rare earth materials.
So that's in the back of his mind too.
You're right. Yep.
All right. Good morning to you. Well, yesterday the president also went before. I guess it went down as one of the longest speeches in UN history.
Yeah.
Now, look, the president said some things that were really staggering, but he has a tendency to ramble.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
And when he gets off the freeway and on a frontage road, it's not pretty.
I know.
He's out there and he's kind of driving around. When he realizes he's out in the weeds, he's got to come back.
Right, he's got to bring it back to the freeway.
Yeah, but one of the things that he knocked yesterday was, I'm telling you, this was astounding. He went after the climate change and the global warming thing, and basically he is calling climate change, quote, the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world.
Yeah.
So he went after the globalists and all these people. And here's a little bit of the speech when he said all that stuff.
All in the name of pretending to stop the global warming hoax. The entire globalist concept of asking successful industrialized nations to inflict pain on themselves and radically disrupt their entire societies must be rejected completely and totally, and it must be immediate. That's why in America I withdrew from the fake Paris Climate Accord, where, by the way, America was paying so much more than every country. For the United States, we're supposed to pay like $1 trillion. And I said, this is another scam. The fact is, the United States has been taken advantage of by the world for many, many years, but not any longer, as you probably noticed. I unleashed massive energy production and signed historic executive orders to hunt for oil, but we don't have to do much hunting because we have the most oil of any nation, anywhere, oil and gas in the world. And if you add coal, we have the most of any nation in the world. Clean, I call it clean, beautiful coal. You can do things today with coal that you couldn't have done 10 years ago, 15 years. But we stand ready to provide any country with abundant, affordable energy supplies if you need them, when most of you do. We're proudly exporting energy all over the world. We're now the largest exporter. In the United States, we want trade and robust commerce with all nations, everybody. We want to help nations. We're going to help nations. But it must also be fair and reciprocal.
Yeah. Well, look, he shook things up yesterday. Basically said the UN was worthless.
Yeah, he did.
And, you know, I have to say this. I don't think it was coincidental.
What?
He walks in, he and the First Lady walk in, and when you look at this video and you study it, they walk over to the escalator. It's working fine.
Right.
The very moment they step on it, it stops. And they had to walk up the escalator.
Right.
All right, so he gets out there, and he gets ready to do a speech, and the teleprompter stops.
Of course.
Yeah. And the first part of his speech, he's had to read the speech, and he makes comment how he's being treated.
Right.
The teleprompter starts up again. Can you imagine? I've given enough some speeches to know, gosh, this is horrible.
Right.
And so he moves from his notes to the teleprompter, which in itself is hard to read.
Sure.
And it's going along. So that means he's not paying attention to turning the pages, and the teleprompter stops.
Right. Right.
I mean,
exactly. But it didn't dissuade him. He continued on. And I think one of the things, too, that is a little unusual about this president is that he uses a lot of everyday street terms. Things like con job, hoax, scam.
Yeah.
And he uses these in his speech. And you know, we get it.
He uses street terms.
Yes.
Now, that wasn't a polished, delivered speech. It wasn't a typical polished political world leader speech.
Right.
It was like a good old boy getting up there talking.
And yes.
And to some degree, okay, can you polish it a little bit? But that's who he is.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, that's who he is. And
right.
I don't, Anyway, this story here, I bring this story to us this morning for one reason. I had Troy Miller on yesterday. I have high regard for Troy. Troy is the CEO of the NRB, and he tracks a lot of things. And he made the comment during my interview with him yesterday that part of how did he say it? A great motivation behind Charlie Kirk's assassination was his faith.
Right, yeah.
People can take negative speech or they can take speech that may be against their policy. But when you add God to the picture, it creates a sense of, I have to obey God and I don't want to do that.
Right.
So they did some polling. Just half of America's liberal voters and 40% of registered Democrats believe that the assassination of Charlie Kirk was understandable.
Right, yeah.
54% of liberals and 40% of registered Democrats said it was understandable.
That's appalling.
It's appalling. And the only thing I can say to you is that these are people that have no soul.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, I know very liberal Christians who feel that way. And my message is, you find me one thing that Charlie Kirk said that's hateful and wouldn't be preached from your church. Find me one thing.
Yeah. Let's just take that one step closer.
Yeah.
Do you believe in the Ten Commandments?
Amen.
There's one in there that says, thou shalt not kill.
Absolutely.
Okay? And this brings into a lot of things here, but why isn't you can have a conscientious objection by not going to the war, but somehow you could turn around and say it's okay to shoot this guy?
Right, right.
So anyway, this is alarming to me because of a lot of things that I won't say here, but the point being is, if 54% of the liberal side of the culture thought that this was understandable, and 40% of registered Democrats thought it was understandable.
Right, and
I want to say, gosh, I don't mean this to be just creating our own controversy. These are people that have no soul.
Right.
They don't value human life.
That old washed-up ESPN guy, Keith Olbermann. Did you see what he posted about Scott Jennings?
No.
He said, expletive, you're next. And he pulled it because Scott Jennings forwarded it to Kash Patel.
Good.
Yeah.
Go get him.
Yeah, and so
get 'em.
so Keith Olbermann pulled it off and said, I didn't mean it in that sense.
No, you go get these guys.
Absolutely.
You go get them.
Yes.
Yeah, because if a Republican had done that, they'd been on the outside looking.
Can you imagine?
All right, so much for all that stuff. In the meantime, cherry something?
Jubilee.
Cherry Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Anything with cherries in it's a Jubilee.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
Co-op, where big ideas grow.
Chris Silva understands your home and your commercial buildings are two of the largest investments most people make in a lifetime. One is for your family, the other is to support your family financially. That is why Chris Silva Painting goes the extra mile to protect both homes and commercial buildings with proper painting preparation and high-quality primers and paints. Serving Southern Oregon since 2006, this family-owned and operated business has painted over 1,000 homes. Chris Silva Painting offers an industry-leading 5-year warranty that covers materials and labor on all painting projects. Work for both residential and commercial buildings, both interior and exterior painting. Chris and his crew are courteous, they are efficient, organized, timely, and clean. Chris Silva Painting also offers military discounts. At Chris Silva Painting, our mission statement is to bring Christ's heart and principles to our customers and our job sites. We do that with honesty, integrity, and hard work. We don't cut corners, we paint them. CCB number 176097. Chris Silva Painting, 541-890-3960.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
Okay, welcome back. Happy Wednesday to you. Just got to give you some backyard news. This is kind of interesting. I had to go look for this because I was curious. You know, they passed the the resolution in Congress, recognizing Charlie Kirk.
Right.
And 58 Democrats voted against it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to know how that looked in Oregon. Well, we have six congressional districts in Oregon, and 5 out of the 6 delegations voted against House Resolution 719.
Really?
Yeah, memorializing Charlie Kirk.
Oh, wow.
So the only one is Representative Cliff Bentz. The other one said present, which is a chicken way of saying no.
No, right, yeah.
And so it's sad.
Yeah.
By the way, I'll be interviewing Congressman Bentz later today, and then I'm going to record it and play it back tomorrow. He's in the district, so we grabbed him for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't that something?
That is, yeah, very telling.
It is, and it's sad. I mean, are you telling me that you don't even have enough human soul in you?
Right, right.
I mean, this is, it's just, let the air out of my sneakers.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have another kind of interesting record for Oregon. Oregon National Guard physician assistant retakes the push-up world record.
What?
Yes, Oregon National Guard physician assistant Major Tommy Vu demolished the world record for the most chest-to-ground push-ups in 1 hour. He did it a couple of days ago, and completing the astonishing 1,721 repetitions of the West Coast Strength Gym in West Salem.
I'll be darned. Look at that.
Here we are, halfway there.
Can you believe this?
No.
1,721. How do you do this?
Very difficultly.
What do you do? How do you do this?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so much for that. I think you ought to see if you can at least do 2 leg presses with your right leg.
Oh,
okay?
come on. I'm struggling to walk out of here. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, man.
Check out the weather map here. Here's what's going on out there. And we have some very nice weather. One more warm day, about an 11 to 12 degree drop in temperatures tomorrow. And if you look down the road, we have rain next week.
Maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, so that's kind of looking
happen.
We'll keep you posted on that.
All right. Well, former Energy Secretary Rick Perry talked with Fox Business's Stuart Varney about the draw that Texas has for construction of new AI data centers, including Stargate, currently the largest construction site in the U.S.
Well, absolutely. Texas obviously is a state that a lot of people are focused on for the obvious reasons. We don't overtax, we don't over-litigate, we don't over-regulate. We got a skilled workforce here. So the idea that if you're going to be in the AI data center business, Texas would be an obvious place you would go. And we're seeing that, whether it's the work that I'm helping on back up in Amarillo with Fermi America, the Stargate project, there's other data center projects in the state of Texas that are being put into place as we speak. So, Texas is going to be at the epicenter for a lot of reasons, but the least of which is you got leadership in the state of Texas that really understands that the 2 limiting factors on data centers are the skilled workforce and energy production. And Texas put into place this last session of the legislature and the previous session in 23 incentive programs for both gas-powered, combined cycle power and nuclear power, small modular reactors in particular. So that's the real core of why you're going to see these data centers really exploding in the state of Texas.
It's interesting. He says, we have leaders in Texas that understand, proving and kind of looking at the flip side. We have leaders in Oregon that don't understand at all. You talk about a possible exodus of businesses. Well, how about the businesses that pass on coming here? We see this growth in Texas and a lot of these southern states like Tennessee and others. But it's not just businesses possibly losing. So they're not attracting anything here anymore.
Yeah, well, we're not business friendly.
No.
And it's sad. when you do the profiling of this, there's a common thread through here.
What?
Most, not all, but most of the people in Salem on the left are people who have never made a payroll. They're bought and sold by pay. Now, the mystery to me is this. Why is it that capitalism can give birth to a small little company that becomes a major corporation? And then that major corporation, because of capitalism, because of friendly marketing states like Texas, Nevada, Arizona, Idaho, all of a sudden they get big and sassy. Now they're liberal. And so what do? They sponsor liberal legislators that go in and promote stuff that was against the very thing that allowed them to become who they are.
So true. Yeah.
It's just ludicrous. But you know, we're living in an upside down world. And you know, the only thing that doesn't change is Christ.
Yeah.
Everything else changes.
Yes.
But to your point, I've often harped, I don't know why we can't take this. Do you realize, it's my opinion, okay, so you can write me a letter and I'll give it to Jerry and he can read it.
Okay.
But my opinion is that Oregon has everything to offer a corporation.
Yes.
We have beautiful state.
Yes.
We got outstanding small businesses to support things. We got everything that a family wants to raise a family in this state, in all its various towns. We should be a business capital of the world, and moreover, because of our interest in maintaining quality environmental issues, we should be the leader in high tech.
Yes, absolutely.
We should have every high tech company coming to Oregon to do business.
Great point.
And we have the infrastructure to do it.
Yeah.
But what do? We pass policies and they just pass us.
Yeah, and on the heels of that, why are we paying more than the national average in fuel prices before the next tax increase takes place?
I'll tell you what, Jerry. If you can get the real answer to that, I'll give you a day off.
All right, I'm going to start right now.
Okay. And I might even throw in a cherry jubilee.
Okay, I'll take it.
We'll be right back.
To go.
Black Flag Armory offers top brand affordable rifles, shotguns, handguns, and gear. We also offer an array of classes emphasizing safety, self-defense, and accuracy. We strive to provide the absolute best possible experience when buying a firearm. Family friendly for every skill level. Black Flag Armory in Medford and Grants Pass. Online at blackflagarms.com or 541-499-0779. 541-499-0779.
Big ideas grow.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Leiser with Leiser Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
21,000 interviews, that's a big milestone. It's huge. My first adventure into anything that would have been political was the late Senator Mark Hatfield. And he said, I'm available for an interview. And so I ran in the studio and I interrupted the programming and I flipped the switch and went on live on the air with him. We had an interesting exchange. And that was kind of my first political interview of anybody that was of notoriety. Good morning to you. Well, yesterday was quite a day at the UN. I realized listening to Trump for an hour can be a little bit of a problem. Quite frankly, it's challenging, you know.
You sound like Pam. She was talking about it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I saw it I heard it through different ears yesterday.
Yeah, wait, you know, we carried, 45 minutes?
Yeah, it was really enlightening.
Yeah, and he was fighting the teleprompter and all these other things. But he does have a tendency, you know. You can almost tell when he's reading the teleprompter. He's going along, and it makes sense, and he's doing words, and he's between the two and then he stops.
Right.
And he starts talking about something. And, I mean, he's way out there.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So what should have been a 40-minute speech ended up being, I think, a 90-minute speech. Anyway, it's kind of crazy. Anyway, you can write me a letter on that, but that's how I feel about it. I also think he overdid the Oval Office, so I have an opinion on that, too. Have you seen it?
Oh, gosh, yeah. How can you miss it?
Come on. Anyway, so much for that. He did, however, say some interesting things and the support of Israel. So let's check in with CBN Newswatch and get caught up on that.
This is CBN Newswatch.
It is Wednesday, the 24th of September, going to begin this half hour with President Donald Trump speaking at the United Nations yesterday, criticizing world leaders for recognizing a Palestinian state and showing support for Israel, warning about the dangers of uncontrolled immigration, calling global warming a, quote, con job, and later showing strong support for Ukraine. CBN's White House correspondent Kelly Wright has our report.
President Trump delivered a speech punctuated with tough talk and criticism of allies and adversaries. He addressed issues from what he called uncontrolled migration and ending the wars in Ukraine and Gaza to defending the strike on Iran's nuclear program.
My position is very simple. The world's #1 sponsor of terror can never be allowed to possess the most dangerous weapon.
He also scolded European allies for buying oil and gas from Russia as they defend Ukraine, but saved his major announcements for after the speech.
President, do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do. Later posting on social media that with the help of the European Union, Ukraine can win the war and retake all the land Russia has taken. In the General Assembly, the president touting his administration's success in ending the flood of illegal immigrants pouring across U.S. borders. He then issued a strong rebuke to European nations on the impact of what he calls uncontrolled migration.
Your countries are going to hell.
The president issued some of his strongest statements concerning the Israel-Hamas war, telling leaders it's unwise to recognize a Palestinian state.
Hamas has repeatedly rejected reasonable offers to make peace. We can't forget October 7th, can we? Now, as if to encourage continued conflict, some of this body is seeking to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state. The rewards would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities.
And making a strong demand to Hamas about the captives held since the October 7th attack.
Release the hostages now. Just release the hostages now.
Kelly Wright, CBN News.
I want to continue our coverage right now with CBN Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell. He's joining us from Jerusalem. So, Chris, French President Macron is one of those who drove for this move for a Palestinian state. He was sitting beside President Trump when the president said, "I'm on the side of Israel." How is a statement like that received in Israel?
Well, Ephraim, a statement like that is accepted quite well here in Israel. Many people believe President Trump is probably the strongest president for Israel in its history. And so they're quite grateful for him, especially as they begin the new year. And they kind of shudder sometimes to see what would have happened if Kamala Harris was elected. Many people believe by now they may have put pressure on Israel to end the war, perhaps prematurely before Hamas was defeated. There would have been likely more economic and diplomatic pressure on Israel, maybe the likelihood of even sanctions on Israel. But what has happened since January 20th is that the Trump administration has provided materiel and military weapons to Israel, as well as diplomatic cover in the United Nations and diplomatic support for its war in Gaza. So it's been a huge change. Very thankful for what they can do. Symbolized just a few days ago when Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, was here and just had unreserved support for Israel in its war against Gaza. So here, as many Israelis celebrate Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the Jewish New Year, very grateful for President Trump standing with Israel. And even Trump said he's been standing with Israel all of his life. So very grateful here in Israel for those statements and the Trump administration.
Hamas is asking President Trump for a 60-day truce in exchange for the release of half of the hostages. Will the president or the Israeli government go along with that request?
First of all, I don't think the Israeli government would go along with that. President Trump, I believe in his latest statement, he wanted to make sure that all the hostages come home, as well as the deceased. There's 48 remaining, 20 of them believed to still be alive. I believe President Trump wants all of them. I don't think he wants a piecemeal measure at this time. The Israeli government right now, as it's engaged in a major campaign in Gaza City, I don't believe they want to have a piecemeal end to the war and the withdrawal of Israeli troops, as well for just half of the hostages. And Hamas has always insisted that there be a permanent end to the war and that the IDF would have to withdraw. I think those are non-starters, both for President Trump right now and for the Netanyahu government.
Wow. Okay. A lot going on.
Yeah.
All right, good morning to you. Let's check out the weather with Mr. Cherry Jubilee himself.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With high pressure keeping things warm today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, sunny skies with daytime highs near 83 in Vancouver, 84 in Portland, and near 87 for Wilsonville and McMinnville. Continuing sunny as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime high temperatures near 87 all the way from Salem through Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with a light north wind this afternoon. Hazy skies this morning across central Oregon, then sunny and near 90 in Prineville and mid-80s for Bend and Sun River with a light and variable wind. A nice day in Boise, Idaho, sunny with a high in the mid-80s. Sunny skies along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the upper 70s around Coos Bay, near 70 in Port Orford, upper 50s in Brookings, and upper 60s for Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, sunny and hot for the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-upper 90s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. Sunny skies in the Klamath Basin with highs in the upper 80s and lows in the upper 40s. Into northern California, sunny in Wairika with a high in the low 90s, through Redding in the mid-90s, Chico near 90, and a high in the mid-80s around Sacramento with a south wind 6 to 8 miles per hour. In the Bay Area, partly sunny in upper 70s in Santa Rosa, mostly cloudy in upper 70s in Napa, partly sunny with a chance of afternoon thunderstorms in mid-70s in San Francisco and in San Jose with a high near 80. A snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, a beautiful shot at the southern end of our valley this morning. A little bit of sunlight showing up. Not quite all the way up yet, but nice day.
Yeah, our last kind of warm day before we start backing up is going to feel a little bit more fall-like in the coming days. Well, it is famous in more ways than one and was proclaimed a national monument on this day in history.
On September 24, 1906, President Theodore Roosevelt made history by proclaiming Devil's Tower in Wyoming the nation's very first national monument. Rising nearly 1,300 feet above the surrounding landscape, Roosevelt called the massive, lofty, and isolated rock a true natural wonder. Sacred to Native American tribes for centuries, Devil's Tower is instantly recognizable for its striking columns of volcanic rock. And its fame didn't end with Roosevelt's proclamation. The landmark starred in Steven Spielberg's 1977 classic film Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where its otherworldly presence was central to the film's story. Today, Devil's Tower remains a place of awe and inspiration, a natural wonder that connects history, culture, and even Hollywood.
Do, 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 do. Remember that? Yeah, and that's where they went. That's where the spacecraft came down and the whole deal. It was all at that tower.
There you go.
Cool. All right.
All right, a quarter before the hour. Moms, are you able to kind of navigate the chaos of life? You know, especially if you have a house full of kids and they're all going in different directions. And guess what? They're all individuals.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
They're not little robots that you can program.
Imagine that. Yeah.
They actually are human beings doing their own thing.
Sometimes they even listen.
Oh, well, that's a rare moment.
Yeah.
Anyway, Katie Ferris, she's with Crossway, encourages moms.
Whether we're talking about caring for a newborn or driving our preteens lots of different directions, there are many reasons that moms like me can feel stretched and thin. And I think this is an experience that's common to moms. In the chaos of daily life with our children, sometimes we can lose sight of God's presence or just not sense that He is with us. When this happens, what do? My encouragement, if you or someone you know is feeling this way, would be really to look to Jesus's example. When our Lord came to earth, He took on human flesh, and Hebrews explains to us that He understands what it is like to be human, and He sympathizes with us in our weaknesses. He experienced tiredness, He experienced hunger, He experienced so many of our experiences, and yet He didn't give in to sin. And so He sympathizes us when we're tempted in our weakness to react or just to respond in different ways. And yet, what was our Lord's practice? When He felt exhausted after serving people, He would look for a way to get alone with His Father. And even though it might seem really difficult to do this, I think as moms, we can be creative. We can get alone with the Lord. We can pray in the middle of the night while we're caring for a newborn. We can call out to the Lord while a toddler is sitting next to us in the early morning on the couch. And I think there's just something sweet and precious about, even in those exhausting seasons when we feel like we don't have any extra bandwidth, to go to our Heavenly Father and just to pour out our situation before Him, to present it to Him and just say, Lord, I am weak, but You are strong, and I need You, Lord. I need You to be who only You can be in my life. I need You to do what only You can do in my life. And when we don't sense God's presence, I think we can also pray specifically. We can confess to the Lord, I don't sense Your presence right now, but we can also pray specific prayers. And I think as we do that, we can then look for evidence of His grace at work in our lives, in our children's lives. When you're ready to crash at the end of the day, does God give you that extra strength just to be able to finish the bedtime routine with your children with a smile? Those are evidences of God's grace. And I think when we see His active presence at work in the small things, it can encourage us that He's also at work in the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Good point. Good stuff all the way around. All right, hang in there, moms. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
At Rogue Hearing in Phoenix, we help you hear life again, clearly and comfortably. From expert hearing tests to custom aids and more, the team at Rogue Hearing delivers care you can trust. Rogue Hearing in Phoenix at the shops at Exit 24. Personalized hearing care right here at home.
It's a turbulent time. Our values are under attack and being challenged with so much coming at us every day. Focus Today with Perry Atkinson helps you sort it out to bring you hope and encouragement so you can stay alert.
But I can't find the crime. I've been doing this for 60 years.
Focus Today, every weekday, an in-depth look and conversation with experts who have a finger on the pulse of what's going on in America and the world.
Anticipating a strike by Iran.
Focusing on the day's events.
Democrats have weaponized our entire government.
Perry Atkinson asks the questions that you want to know.
What's your take today, these many years later?
It's an hour you need to strengthen your faith and stay informed on the urgent issues coming at us.
For a time such as this, Focus Today is an important hour you need to see.
Watch Focus Today weekdays on theDove TV. encouraging and informative. See past episodes and more at theDove.us.
Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
Looking for the perfect RV adventure?
Team Toner's got you covered from homes to homes on wheels.
Discover unbeatable deals only at American RV in Southern Oregon.
All right, welcome back. One of the stunning things at the Charlie Kirk Memorial was the people who spoke, and in particular, some of our country leaders that spoke that literally got up and clearly articulated their faith and really gave the gospel message. One of those was Secretary Marco Rubio, and he was on Fox News talking about his speech or his talk there at the memorial, and here's what he had to say.
Because he took on that death, because he carried that cross, we were freed from the sin that separated us from him. And when he returns, there will be a new heaven and a new earth, and we will all be together, and we are going to have a great reunion there again with Charlie and all the people we love.
Well, look, Charlie, I think what makes this situation so unique is that Charlie Kirk wasn't just a figure involved in American politics and a political discourse. Charlie was a friend to a lot of people in the White House and a lot of people in this administration, like on a personal level. He's someone that I had just been interacting with just a few days before he died, because he was in South Korea and was eager to come back home and tell me what he had seen while he was there. And a lot of other people, the vice president was very close to him personally, a lot of members of the staff. It's just, so I think it adds a new element to this. Obviously, this is a major story, a horrific tragedy, and before everyone in the age of social media, everyone saw it instantly. And so I think it impacted people across the country, but I think it had a particularly special impact in addition to all of that because of the personal connection here. And I thought that on Sunday was a very unique opportunity for many of us, not just to pay tribute to the life that Charlie Kirk lived, but the way he lived it and the core of his message. And his faith was at the core of his message. I think Charlie, if he was here to say that politics is important, what we do in government is important, these debates on issues are important, but the most important thing of all is our faith and our family, and Charlie lived that, and he believed it, and it was at the core of his message. He had an extraordinary amount of wisdom for a 31-year-old young man. He really did. I mean, it usually takes a lifetime to acquire the kind of wisdom that he had.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Well, I think we were all moved by what we saw and heard during that thing. Yeah. Coming up, Richard Lyons will be back with us, and we have a lot to talk to him about concerning some of the top headlines, and in particular with how the global shift now with the president going on the side of Ukraine, which is really interesting. And we're going to have our good friend Bud Amundsen with us today, too. As you know, the Youth 71.5 was found themselves in one of the most interesting lawsuits. Yeah. And it was off, it was on, they got victory, then it was suspended. Anyway, we're going to get updated on this. And, and I really think we need to know about this because nonprofit organizations from the previous administration and doing business in this state is not easy. So we'll talk to him about that.
Well, they say birds of a feather flock together, but not in this case where we see fur and feathers living together.
In Portland, Oregon, a real-life Disney friendship has taken flight between a border collie named Miko and a crow named Russell. It all began when Autumn Buck discovered a fallen nest in her yard. One chick hadn't survived, but another, trembling and too weak to walk, clung to life. Autumn built a tiny nest, fed the fragile bird, and hoped for the best. That's when Miko, her loyal border collie, stepped in. He became the little crow's guardian, watching over him day and night. What started as protection grew into something more. The two became inseparable friends. They napped together, fetched toys, and even tease each other like siblings. Autumn named the crow Russell after Russell Crowe, and though he now roosts in a nearby tree, every day he comes back to play with Miko. If Miko is inside, Russell even taps on the window until his best friend comes out. It's a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected friendships are also some of the most heartwarming.
How about that?
That is amazing.
It is. Now, crows are very, very intelligent birds. They're up on the upper end of it. And we know that border collies are some of the smartest dogs that there are. And they have this unique friendship, that they have this give and take. It's amazing.
Is it Miko?
Miko, yeah.
Do you think Miko wants to learn how to fly?
I don't know.
Is Miko out there flapping her?
You think Russell wants to be able to scratch behind his ear?
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
Where is this going to go?
Yeah, I don't. That's a good question. And Russell is free to fly around. Stays in a tree and nests in the tree and comes back in. So it's kind of an interesting relationship.
I wonder if Russell has a family.
Yeah.
That he brings the babies around.
I wonder, because, Russell's going to go off and live his life,
Well, Russell's got to...
And bring the babies, yeah.
Got to go find
He's a good buddy.
Yeah.
Miko. Miko. And it's good. Miko doesn't take a bite out of him. I have a dog that might just do that.
So, what is it... I guess one of the mysteries of life is, how do animals communicate?
Yeah, that is a good question.
How do they do it?
Right.
How do dogs communicate? How does a dog and a bird communicate?
Yeah.
Do they hear each other? Do they have vibes? Do they?
Yeah. Well, my dogs, and they communicate.
Okay, so let me give you a little example question.
Okay.
Can you and Pam have a full conversation and not use words?
Oh, just a look.
Oh, see?
Just a
Maybe
look.
that's all it is.
She doesn't even have to explain to me why I'm in trouble.
There we go.
All she has to do is look at me.
Point made. Isaiah 30, verse 18. The Lord longs to be gracious to you. Therefore, he will rise up to show you compassion. For the Lord is a God of justice. Blessed are all who wait for him. What a promise today. Take that with you.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, it's your old car here. Remember me? Remember us? You barely even turn me on anymore. It's clear you don't need me, but that's perfectly fine, my friend. Because you can choose to give this old car new purpose and donate. There are incredible nonprofits out there that accept cars just like me. So call or donate online. Donating a vehicle is easy, the pickup is free, and your gift is tax deductible.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
Hey, this is Ed, co-owner of Visiting Angels.
To continue to serve our seniors, we need more caregivers with a heart to serve. Our mission statement is honoring the art of giving, which means we honor you, the caregiver. We know it's our people that make Visiting Angels the best in-home care provider and a great place to work. Come be our next amazing caregiver. Give us a call or apply online. At Visiting Angels, we're committed to you because we honor the art of giving.
Focus Today, focusing on issues affecting you. Join Perry Atkinson weekdays only on the Dove TV.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. This is where it all happens. Right here. If it doesn't happen here, it's not worth watching somewhere else.
We're not quite sure what it happening is, but it does tend to happen.
Because Jerry's here. Jerry's here. You know, you had I want to say this because I've been given permission to use this term.
Okay.
So don't write me a nasty letter.
All right.
The Trail Babes were in yesterday.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, boy, do you guys have those two fooled.
They're wonderful. No, don't pop my bubble.
I don't know. They just think you're the greatest thing since peanut butter.
Well, they are.
Okay.
And so, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. A lot in the news. There always is. Quite the speech at the UN yesterday. Highlights there. There's a change in a lot of things globally as a result of that speech. Let's see. The weather, a little on the warm side. One more day. Could see a 11 to 12 degree temperature cooling tomorrow. This time next week, we could see showers.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, it's going to change. It's going to feel a little more fall-like.
Okay. So who was it? Who's the guy that plays the piano and he's a funny guy? Victor Borge? Is that
Victor Borge, yeah.
You ever see him do the...
Oh, yes. Now we're really going back. I'm going to have to find a piece on Victor Borge.
Remember when he does that?
Yes.
The reason being, today is
National Punctuation Day. Put a semicolon on it. Now, if you don't know what a semicolon is, you need to address your punctuation needs and requirements.
Yeah, he did this little routine where he stood up and he would... Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I'd had that.
Yeah.
That would be a good one to talk about because...
I know. Alice, can you find that?
Today, yeah.
Can you find the Victor Borge?
Victor Borge punctuation.
Ding, dong, ding.
Yes, because today commemorates all punctuation. A period, a comma, a semicolon, a question mark, and an exclamation point are examples of some of the punctuation used in writing and maybe being used a little bit less and less these days, especially in text. Do you put punctuation in your text, Perry?
Sometimes.
Okay.
I'm becoming more and more reluctant to type emails and send text because something happens from the time I write them and I push the button. They come out different.
Yes, I know. I know what you mean. You read.
And then I have the audacity of somebody writing back and say, "Well, you dummy, you didn't say this, and you used the wrong word."
Right, and sometimes it's weird too because you know what your intent is when you send the text or the email, and then you reread it. It looks a little drier and maybe a little colder than what you. So then we try warm it up. We put an emoji on it. We put a smiley face on or a thumbs up on it. And hey, I'm pretty light on this, but punctuation, that's, I think, a kind of a lost deal these days. A lot of people really, I'm not sure they really understand using it, and especially as we communicate quicker and especially voice texting and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I've even said comma and had it spell comma out for me.
Really?
I'm kidding you. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so use punctuation, and if you don't know how to use it, learn. It's that day.
Comma, C-O-M-M-O.
Yeah, C-O-M. That's right. It's also National Women's Health and Fitness Day, promoting the largest event for women's health of all ages. Across the country today, an estimated 80,000 to 100,000 women of all ages gather at local health and fitness events. They join in groups large and small, and some so small they're exercising at home. Like you, honey. Pam's in our exercise room. She's got the little barbells. She's got a video going on the screen, and she's doing it. And you know what I do? I just watch and smile. So, honey, you look marvelous.
Oh, well.
Yes.
I just want to know if she does it in her Carhartt
Her Carhartt overall shorts?
Yeah.
No, she's gardening with that. She's got a big floppy hat on.
With her tool belt on.
No, I gotta
and her
bring
chainsaw.
I have a great wife. I really do. She wears Carhartt overall shorts.
Yeah.
Got a floppy hat. She's got Crocs on.
Yeah.
And she's got her chainsaw out there, the blower, the whole. I need to take a picture and bring it in.
You could win an ad contest.
Absolutely. And then she's staying fit. I love it. Actually,
Carhartts ain't for sissies.
That's right. It's country living, baby. That's what we do. It's also National Cherries Jubilee Day. We got a little bit of dessert for you, and it's credited to Auguste Escoffier. He receives credit for the Cherries Jubilee recipe that he created for Queen Victoria and her fondness for cherries and preparing the dish for one of her Jubilee celebrations. Thus the name, but it can't be bad. Look at that, ice cream and cherries, and I don't know what the sauce is. There's probably something in there, I don't know, like a liqueur or something, because it's flambé.
Oh.
So a little bit of brandy or something. In fact, the first recipes had brandy in it, but they burn it off. And so Cherries Jubilee, that might be your dessert for the day. Enjoy. All right. Well, we know that robots have been in the workplace for quite some time now, but have you ever heard of a butt robot? Well, no. A post that popped up on Reddit claims that Samsung once created a butt-shaped robot to sit on its phones to test their durability. It turns out it's absolutely true. According to the company, the butt robot was used in 2014 and 2018. Outfitted in blue jeans, the robot repeatedly sat on handsets to test how well each one held up to 220 pounds of pressure. At the time, Samsung also used talking dummies to test call quality and chambers to simulate extreme weather, but it was definitely the butt robot that got the buzz.
Wow.
Butt robot. Well, do you carry your phone in your back pocket?
I have, but I don't like doing it. Only because, I see people riding bikes with it in their back, or things like they're sitting on a park bench.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know.
You know what else I see? I see these guys that go magnet fishing.
Yes.
And they find iPhones. Yeah. They find smartphones down. That people are doing that. They got in their pockets and stuff, and sometimes they jump in the water, and they certainly lose them sometimes. And by the way, speaking of keeping it, because obviously Samsung and I'm sure some of the others have tested how much pressure a phone can take in your back pocket. I've even seen pictures of people who wore it in their back pocket so much that their phone started to curve a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that. But now, did you know iPhone has got a new phone out? It's called Air. It's the iPhone Air.
Is that number 17?
Thinnest, I think so. It's the thinnest smartphone ever produced.
Really?
This is the one that needs the butt robot.
Yeah.
Definitely, so we'll see.
Okay.
Only time will tell.
Well, here's a guy that'll always have an exclamation point after his name.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With high pressure keeping things warm today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, sunny skies with daytime highs near 83 in Vancouver, 84 in Portland, and near 87 for Wilsonville and McMinnville. Continuing sunny as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime high temperatures near 87 all the way from Salem through Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with a light north wind this afternoon. Hazy skies this morning across central Oregon, then sunny and near 90 in Prineville and mid-80s for Bend and Sun River with a light and variable wind. A nice day in Boise, Idaho, sunny with a high in the mid-80s. Sunny skies along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the upper 70s around Coos Bay, near 70 in Port Orford, upper 50s in Brookings, and upper 60s for Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, sunny and hot for the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-upper 90s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. Sunny skies in the Klamath Basin with highs in the upper 80s and lows in the upper 40s. Into Northern California, sunny in Wairika with a high in the low 90s, through Redding in the mid 90s, Chico near 90, and a high in the mid 80s around Sacramento with a south wind 6 to 8 miles per hour. In the Bay Area, partly sunny in upper 70s in Santa Rosa, mostly cloudy in upper 70s in Napa, partly sunny with a chance of afternoon thunderstorms in mid 70s in San Francisco and in San Jose with a high near 80. A snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Hey, look at that. That is called home. And for those not outside or outside the area, that is the Rogue Valley. Not quite a full sunrise yet, but when it does, it'll be a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
And maybe one of our last warmer days, 90s. We'll see if we come back into that in the future, but it's going to become more fall-like. It's about time. All right, time now for some encouragement with Pastor Greg Laurie.
I love Psalm 1 because it tells us things that we should not do and things that we should do if we want to be happy. Do you want to be a happy person? Here's what Psalm 1 says. Blessed or happy is the man or the woman who does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly or stand in the way of sinners or sit in the seat of the scornful. Did you notice that regression? First you're walking, then you're standing, then you're sitting. Let's say you're on a diet and you just happen to walk by Krispy Kreme donuts every day. So you're walking along out your morning walk and then you notice that the little sign is lit up, which means they're making fresh donuts. Now you're standing. First you were walking, now you're standing. You're looking in the window. Next thing you know, you're sitting, eating 12 Krispy Kreme donuts and washing them down with some cold milk. Okay, that's how sin works. You're walking by, oh, there's sin. I don't want to do that. But what is going on in there? What is this temptation? You're standing. Next thing you know, you're sitting. First you're walking, then you're standing, then you're sitting. Happy is the person that does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly or stand in the way of sinners or sit in the seat of the scornful. That's what you should not do. But one of the things I love about the Bible is it tells us we should not do things, but then it tells us to do other things in the place of that. For instance, the Bible says, walk in the Spirit and you will not fulfill the lust of the flesh, right? So do this, don't do that. So instead of walking in the counsel of the ungodly, that chapter goes on to say, but his delight is in the word of the Lord, and in it does he meditate day and night. So the word of the Lord, that's the Bible.
Is truly one of my favorites. I love his encouragement, but did he have to use Krispy Kreme as an illustration on how easy it is to slide into sin? I get it.
You know, I've looked at the list of sins and I didn't see Krispy Kreme.
I didn't see it. But it did make a great illustration.
I'd have to call Doug Gould and see if Krispy Kreme's
a list of addictions
is in the addiction category, which obviously would move it into the sin category, because that means it would be more in control of your life.
Yeah, and is it less of a sin if you only get drawn in when they're coming out of the oven, out of the?
Well, see, but isn't that Krispy Kreme offset with that glass of milk?
Yeah.
How am I doing, Doug?
You got it.
Am I justifying this addiction?
You guys need to talk.
I'm sure he's got a course on
he probably does.
Krispy Kreme recovery.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so much for that. All right, let's take a look at some of the top stories this morning. Happy Wednesday to you. Well, the president yesterday gave quite a speech at the UK. Gosh, my brain's here. At the UN. And it went on and on and on and on and on and on and on. He has a tendency to get off.
Yeah, but he had a lot to say. Yeah.
Yeah. After that, he's in an interview with Macron in a side room there at the UN, and looks like he's done a 180-degree turn on Ukraine. He now says Ukraine should win the war and take back all the land. What a turnaround. Anyway, here's a little bit of that comment.
It's been a terrible war, should have ended, and Russia should have stopped it. But they've been 3.5 years and they've gotten not so far. So we'll see what happens. But the other side can fight too, and they've proven that. Maybe it could be that Russia's a paper tiger. I don't know what they are, but 3.5 years of fighting and killing everybody, of killing 7,000 people a week for nothing, So it's a very sad situation, but most of you have seen the recent statement I put out a little while ago, and I'm glad you got it. But I feel that way. I really do feel that way. Let them get their land back.
Yep.
So we'll see how it all works out.
Whoa. Whoa.
Well, he makes an interesting point. Why hasn't Russia completed the job? And now they're just kind of playing intimidation games by flying drones over Poland, and actually flying jets over Estonia. So they're provoking a lot of things over there. But I think their ground wars seem to be pretty inept.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of people have died. Innocent people have died. But you would think they would have enough. And here sits Ukraine with hardly anything. And they're able to damage their Navy and take out a bunch of airplanes at their airport with drones. So anyway, I think the president's had enough of Putin.
I think you're right. And in fact, I was reading that, Putin obviously was ex-KGB.
Yeah.
And they said that basically he is manipulating world leaders, including President Trump, like a KGB agent would. So do you think Trump has just finally had it with being played?
Yes. And I look, Trump's personality, I think we now know what it is, okay?
Yeah.
And you just don't cross him.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And Putin has crossed him.
Absolutely.
And so he's going to go, even though he's not happy with Ukraine, I think he's looking at what they call rare earth deal inside Ukraine.
Yeah.
There's more interest in protecting Ukraine, which gives advancement to NATO in that area. So he's saying to NATO and to the United States, we're going to help you with this. And I think he's going to follow up with unbelievable sanctions on Russia, which unfortunately the Russian people are going to suffer. And he's going to put the squeeze on India and China.
Yeah, I think so.
It's coming.
Yeah, you're right.
The other thing is, during the speech yesterday, he sat there in front of the world leaders and complained that the UN basically was worthless. That was preceded with the escalator not working the moment he stepped on it,
or
and
the
his teleprompter going sideways on him.
Yes.
I mean, that was a bad day.
Oh, boy.
And so, in the meantime, he said he's calling climate change, quote, the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. And so here's the president yesterday during a speech calling out climate science.
All in the name of pretending to stop the global warming hoax. The entire globalist concept of asking successful industrialized nations to inflict pain on themselves and radically disrupt their entire societies must be rejected completely and totally, and it must be immediate. That's why in America I withdrew from the fake Paris Climate Accord, where, by the way, America was paying so much more than every country. But for the United States, we're supposed to pay like $1 trillion. And I said, this is another scam. The fact is, the United States has been taken advantage of by the world for many, many years, but not any longer, as you probably noticed. I unleashed massive energy production and signed historic executive orders to hunt for oil, but we don't have to do much hunting because we have the most oil of any nation anywhere, oil and gas in the world. And if you add coal, we have the most of any nation in the world. Clean, I call it clean, beautiful coal. You can do things today with coal that you couldn't have done 10 years ago, 15 years. But we stand ready to provide any country with abundant, affordable energy supplies if you need them, when most of you do. We're proudly exporting energy all over the world. We're now the largest exporter. In the United States, we want trade and robust commerce with all nations, everybody. We want to help nations. We're going to help nations. But it must also be fair and reciprocal.
Very interesting.
We just have never had anybody that is so consequential when it relates to just overall business,
right,
and commerce for the United States. We've never had a president like that. So to get up and talk like that's kind of interesting.
What an interesting attitude. He got up. He wasn't talking to the UN, seeking their approval or for them to come along with anything. Basically, he was saying, here's the job that we've been doing. Here's what's going on in the United States. You guys are falling short.
I will say one thing. He got up and said the United States is the greatest nation on earth, and it's even better now in 8 months that I've brought it back. I mean, he bragged on himself.
Sure.
But he's basically saying you want to do business with the best, get in line.
Absolutely.
But this outfit here called the UN is worthless.
Yes.
And you guys, and he used some other colorful language, if you don't stop this illegal immigration in the country, you're not going to have one.
Right.
Look how we did it. We'll help you do it if you want to.
He said exactly where he believes they are sending their countries.
Yeah, it's to a hot place south of here.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
All right, I bring this up today for one reason. I interviewed Troy Miller yesterday, and Troy Miller is the CEO of the NRB, and have high regard for him and the organization. And anyway, he made the comment during my interview yesterday that the large part of Charlie Kirk's assassination wasn't necessarily his political stance, because it's no different than the difference between right and left.
Yeah.
But it was the foundation of his political stance based upon biblical morality.
Yes.
And that's what upsets people, because they don't want there to be a supreme being, because that means they'd have to obey him.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And he feels that a large portion of the pressure behind the assassination, quite frankly, is spiritual. Well, we know that to be true.
Mm-hmm.
So a quick survey was snapshot yesterday. And by the way, there is a lot of controversy about whether this guy was alone or not.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen to this. 54% of the liberals in this country and 40% of the registered Democrats believe that the assassination of Charlie Kirk was understandable.
That speaks volumes about the left.
It also tells us who, especially what we do, that when you says there is a God and there is a moral order and you must obey it, it just sends people crazy.
Yeah, right.
And so that's kind of what's going on here. But if 54% of liberals in the country thought it was understandable and 40% of the registered Democrats thought it was understandable, the only thing I can tell you is, I'm not saying this to be controversial.
Okay.
It just tells me they have no soul.
Right. Yes. And you know what else?
Yeah.
And especially because there are Christians in that group too, who believe that he spoke hate speech and that, you know, but you know why they do? Because somebody told them.
Yeah.
They've never seen it themselves. They've never seen the hate speech. They can't pull it up on YouTube. They can't show it to you. Somebody told them on the left that this was hate speech, and that you can understand that somebody gets shot over speaking such vile hatred. Show me. Show me where he said it. And the other point too, especially to Christians, show me where Charlie Kirk said something that you wouldn't hear your pastor speak from the pulpit.
Yeah, and I think there's another fundamental truth here. Thou shall not kill. It's one of the Big Ten.
Right.
And if we're not moved by an innocent person being murdered in cold blood in front of cameras,
right,
then we take that killing and we play it for kids in the classroom. This goes back to the value of human life, but moreover, it just tells me there's a large portion of our culture that has no soul.
Absolutely. It was reflected with Keith Olbermann. He was the ex-ESPN commentator. The guy is poison and toxic as can be. And he sent a message to Scott Jennings. Scott Jennings, on CNN or MSNBC, one of those legacy networks. And he basically said, "You're next, blankety blank." And then he quickly deleted it, but not before it was forwarded to Kash Patel, the FBI.
It should be taken seriously.
Yes.
Yeah, it should be taken seriously. All right, a lot going on there, but anyway, those are some of the headlines on this Wednesday morning as we are enjoying some beautiful fall weather. So we'll take a quick Cherry Jubilee break.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
big ideas grow.
Chris Silva understands your home and your commercial buildings are two of the largest investments most people make in a lifetime. One is for your family, the other is to support your family financially. That is why Chris Silva Painting goes the extra mile to protect both homes and commercial buildings with proper painting preparation and high-quality primers and paints. Serving Southern Oregon since 2006, this family-owned and operated business has painted over 1,000 homes. Chris Silva Painting offers an industry-leading 5-year warranty that covers materials and labor on all painting projects. Work for both residential and commercial buildings, both interior and exterior painting. Chris and his crew are courteous, they are efficient, organized, timely, and clean. Chris Silva Painting also offers military discounts. At Chris Silva Painting, our mission statement is to bring Christ's heart and principles to our customers and our job sites. We do that with honesty, integrity, and hard work. We don't cut corners, we paint them. CCB number 176097. Chris Silva Painting, 541-890-3960.
From top home sellers in the Valley with John L. Scott.
To making RV consignment effortless.
American RV, where Team Toner gets your RV sold fast.
Okay, welcome back. Happy Wednesday to you. A couple of backyards. You know, to follow up on the story that we had a few moments ago where 54% of the liberals in the country felt that Charlie Kirk's assassination was understandable, and 40% of registered Democrats. So that provoked me to go over and look at something yesterday, and I found this, that we have 6 congressional seats in the state of Oregon, and 5 of them voted against the resolution memorializing Charlie Kirk. Now, that says present there, okay, but that's just a chicken way of saying no.
Yeah, right.
So the only one that said yes was Republican Cliff Bentz. By the way, I'll be interviewing Congressman Bentz a little bit later on this morning, and we'll air it tomorrow.
Right.
But the other 5 just said present, which is a nice way of saying no.
No. Right.
So it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad that we've reached these levels in our culture that that kind of junk can go on. Now, Jerry is so physically fit that it's embarrassing for me to sit next to him while his pecs are bulging through his jacket there.
I'm pumping up.
Okay, well, here's a guy that pumped you up. His Oregon Army National Guard physician assistant Major Tommy Vu. He demolished the world record for the most chest-to-ground push-ups in 1 hour. He did that a couple of days ago, completing an astonishing 1,721 repetitions at the West Coast Strength Gym in West Salem. So there he is. Can you believe this?
No.
You know, and there's a crowd there cheering him on.
Look at the position his hands are in. It's.
At what point do you become numb? You know?
Yeah. Well, I'm like in the first 10.
So in an hour, he did 1,721.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I don't know how you do this.
Wow.
Okay.
Training and determination.
Yeah. I wonder what his heart rate was.
Yeah.
Anyway, congratulations, I guess. That was a biggie. A couple of other quick things. Let's see. Oh, for you aviation enthusiasts, don't forget coming up this Saturday, the local Medford, what's the term? Oh, there it is. Medford Civil Air Patrol is having their open house Saturday from 11 to 3 right here at the airport.
Where are they?
Right at, you go up here and you turn right, you go over there and turn left, and it's right there.
Oh, I go by them on my way home.
No. It's on the other little road up there.
Oh, okay.
Off of Cirrus Drive, which is out in front of us here.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, go out if you're into. Check out the Civil Air Patrol. These guys are really super guys. Right. They do good stuff. All right, let's take a look at Wall Street for this Wednesday morning. Thank you, Preston. If you're smart, you'll call them because you won't have to mow your lawn ever again. All right, and you still have one. Mm-hmm. Well, at least it's green.
Yeah.
The Dow's up 63, almost 64 points. The Nas off down 4, and the S&P down not quite 2. So kind of a mixed bag at the ringing of the bell this morning. Who knows what's driving that? Could be the UN speech. Gold is at 37.94. Silver at 44 1/3. Well, not bad. Oh, look at that. Look what crude oil did.
Yeah.
Went back up $1, almost $2. $67.82 a barrel.
Shocking. Well, we've been talking a lot about the president and his speech at the UN. I don't think many of us have seen anything quite like it. No. And former Energy Secretary Rick Perry spoke with Stuart Varney, and he reacted to this clip of President Trump's speech at the UN talking about renewable energy.
We're getting rid of the falsely named renewables. By the way, they're a joke. They don't work. They're too expensive. They're not strong enough to fire up the plants that you need to make your country great. The wind doesn't blow. Those big windmills are so pathetic and so bad, so expensive to operate. Then they have to be rebuilt all the time, and they start to rust and rot. Most expensive energy ever conceived.
Well, you know, the president's pretty direct, so he's never been a big fan of wind energy. And I think when you really understand that you have to have base load power, and base load only comes from fossil fuel driven facilities, and most of that is going to be natural gas and nuclear power. The president understands that to his core. And so, and all of the above energy strategy is fine, but the fact is, base load is what you have to have if we're going to win this war. And this is the modern day Manhattan Project, Stuart. Yep. It's all hands on deck here. We've got to beat the Chinese at this race. And Texas is going to lead the charge. Again, I go back to that big audacious program that they're working up in the panhandle of Texas called Fermi America. It will be the largest data center in the world. That's the type of thing that Donald Trump looks at and says, you know what, that's exactly what we're going to win. That's exactly what we're going to do. And it's base load driven, and that's the key. You have the trades up in that part of the world. The Permian Basin has been building out with all the welders and the electricians and the HVACs and the plumbers. And we've got that workforce up there. We've got the energy up there. We've got the Ogallala Aquifer that we're sitting on top of. It is the perfect site in the world to go win this race that America is in. And I'm excited to be a part of it.
Interesting. And then he used the term there I think we're going to be hearing more and more of, and that's the baseload energy issue, which basically talks about the minimum constant level of electricity required 24/7 to maintain the power that we're using on the grid. And it can only come basically from nuclear and fossil fuel. Nothing else can keep that baseload up to what we need.
Yeah, and coal energy is one of the major producers of electricity.
Absolutely.
And that has to be increased just to offset all of the electric conversions that we're doing with automobiles.
Yeah, and I think one of the things too is, we've been trained that coal is dirty. We think dirty coal, but technology is changing. They are finding new ways to clean it up. So it's interesting. It's going to change, I think.
Okay. Well, you still need fossil fuel to cook your
Cherry's Jubilee. Without a doubt. How are you going to get the flambe?
How are you going to get it to work? We'll be right back.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com. Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family-run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart. a heart for God, and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
Okay, good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. And of course, that speech at the UN yesterday had some reverberation around the world, and it did get picked up over in the Middle East because of President's strong stand with Israel. So let's check in with CBN News Watch.
This is CBN News Watch.
It is Wednesday, the 24th of September, going to begin this half hour with President Donald Trump speaking at the United Nations yesterday, criticizing world leaders for recognizing a Palestinian state and showing support for Israel, warning about the dangers of uncontrolled immigration, calling global warming a, quote, con job, and later showing strong support for Ukraine. CBN's White House correspondent Kelly Wright has our report.
President Trump delivered a speech punctuated with tough talk and criticism of allies and adversaries. He addressed issues from what he called uncontrolled migration and ending the wars in Ukraine and Gaza to defending the strike on Iran's nuclear program.
My position is very simple. The world's #1 sponsor of terror can never be allowed to possess the most dangerous weapon.
He also scolded European allies for buying oil and gas from Russia as they defend Ukraine, but saved his major announcements for after the speech.
President, do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do. Later posting on social media that with the help of the European Union, Ukraine can win the war and retake all the land Russia has taken. In the General Assembly, the president touting his administration's success in ending the flood of illegal immigrants pouring across U.S. borders. He then issued a strong rebuke to European nations on the impact of what he calls uncontrolled migration.
Your countries are going to hell.
The president issued some of his strongest statements concerning the Israel-Hamas war, telling leaders it's unwise to recognize a Palestinian state.
Hamas has repeatedly rejected reasonable offers to make peace. We can't forget October 7th, can we? Now, as if to encourage continued conflict, some of this body is seeking to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state. The rewards would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities.
And making a strong demand to Hamas about the captives held since the October 7th attack.
Release the hostages now. Just release the hostages now.
Kelly Wright, CBN News.
I want to continue our coverage right now with CBN Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell. He's joining us from Jerusalem. So, Chris, French President Macron is one of those who drove for this move for a Palestinian state. He was sitting beside President Trump when the president said, "I'm on the side of Israel." How is a statement like that received in Israel?
Well, Ephraim, a statement like that is accepted quite well here in Israel. Many people believe President Trump is probably the strongest president for Israel in its history. And so they're quite grateful for him, especially as they begin the new year. And they kind of shudder sometimes to see what would have happened if Kamala Harris was elected. Many people believe by now they may have put pressure on Israel to end the war, perhaps prematurely before Hamas was defeated. There would have been likely more economic and diplomatic pressure on Israel, maybe the likelihood of even sanctions on Israel. But what has happened since January 20th is that the Trump administration has provided materiel and military weapons to Israel, as well as diplomatic cover in the United Nations and diplomatic support for its war in Gaza. So it's been a huge change. Very thankful for what they can do. Symbolized just a few days ago when Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, was here and just had unreserved support for Israel in its war against Gaza. So here, as many Israelis celebrate Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the Jewish New Year, very grateful for President Trump standing with Israel. And even Trump said he's been standing with Israel all of his life. So very grateful here in Israel for those statements and the Trump administration.
Hamas is asking President Trump for a 60-day truce in exchange for the release of half of the hostages. Will the president or the Israeli government go along with that request?
First of all, I don't think the Israeli government would go along with that. President Trump, I believe in his latest statement, he wanted to make sure that all the hostages come home, as well as the deceased. There's 48 remaining, 20 of them believed to still be alive. I believe President Trump wants all of them. I don't think he wants a piecemeal measure at this time. The Israeli government right now, as it's engaged in a major campaign in Gaza City, I don't believe they want to have a piecemeal end to the war and the withdrawal of Israeli troops, as well for just half of the hostages. And Hamas has always insisted that there be a permanent end to the war and that the IDF would have to withdraw. I think those are non-starters, both for President Trump right now and for the Netanyahu government.
All right. Interesting. All right, let's check out the weather with Mr. Exclamation Point.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With high pressure keeping things warm today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, sunny skies with daytime highs near 83 in Vancouver, 84 in Portland, and near 87 for Wilsonville and McMinnville. Continuing sunny as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime high temperatures near 87 all the way from Salem through Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with a light north wind this afternoon. Hazy skies this morning across central Oregon, then sunny and near 90 in Prineville and mid-80s for Bend and Sun River with a light and variable wind. A nice day in Boise, Idaho, sunny with a high in the mid-80s. Sunny skies along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the upper 70s around Coos Bay, near 70 in Port Orford, upper 50s in Brookings, and upper 60s for Crescent City, California. In southern Oregon, sunny and hot for the Rogue Valley with highs in the mid-upper 90s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. Sunny skies in the Klamath Basin with highs in the upper 80s and lows in the upper 40s. Into northern California, sunny in Wairika with a high in the low 90s, through Redding in the mid-90s, Chico near 90, and a high in the mid-80s around Sacramento with a south wind 6 to 8 miles per hour. In the Bay Area, partly sunny in upper 70s in Santa Rosa, mostly cloudy in upper 70s in Napa, partly sunny with a chance of afternoon thunderstorms in mid-70s in San Francisco and in San Jose with a high near 80. A snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
And a beautiful shot. The sun is now coming up, shining down on a place we call home, and that is the Rogue Valley this morning. Pretty nice out there. All right. I introduced you as Mr. Exclamation Point.
Yes, you did.
Where did it come from?
I don't know.
This little piece of video right here.
Page 9. Page 6. In the open window there suddenly came light. Beautiful Elinor sat alone dreaming of but one thing. 2 years had passed since she met Sir Henry. She could still remember the unhappy evening when her father had thrown him out. They had been sitting in the park, and Henry had said, "Darling." Is this the first time you have loved? She had answered, yes. But it is so wonderful that I hope it shall not be the last.
All right, there you go. That's why we call him Jerry Builder.
I'm moving on. It is.
By the way, that's National Punctuation Day.
And that was Victor Borgen.
Yeah,
that was a famous routine. He was a funny man. Well, it is famous in more ways than one, and was proclaimed a national monument on this day in history.
September 24th, 1906, President Theodore Roosevelt made history by proclaiming Devil's Tower in Wyoming the nation's very first national monument. Rising nearly 1,300 feet above the surrounding landscape, Roosevelt called the massive, lofty, and isolated rock a true natural wonder. Sacred to Native American tribes for centuries, Devil's Tower is instantly recognizable for its striking columns of volcanic rock. And its fame didn't end with Roosevelt's proclamation. The landmark starred in Steven Spielberg's 1977 classic film Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where its otherworldly presence was central to the film's story. Today, Devil's Tower remains a place of awe and inspiration, a natural wonder that connects history, culture, and even Hollywood.
Where'd they go? Where's the...
Yeah. The only thing they did wrong on that one, they named it wrong. God's Tower.
Oh yeah, Devil's Tower.
Yeah. I don't know how they got that. I don't know what came into play on that.
So that was the first monument.
Yeah, that was. It beat the Grand Canyon by 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And of course, Teddy Roosevelt. He was a big conservationist.
Yeah, he was.
Yep.
All right, good morning to you. Quarter before the hour on a beautiful Wednesday morning, and we are going to take a break, and we're out of cherry jubilees.
Yes, we are.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
Over 21,000 interviews, over 40 plus years. It's quite a feat, and one person can claim this huge milestone. The Dove's Perry Atkinson. Since 1983, Perry has been taking you up close to newsmakers, politics, world affairs, and a who's who of ministry leaders to encourage your walk with Christ. Tap into his experience and knowledge every weekday, right here, only on the Dove TV and radio.
Every day in Southern Oregon, lives are shaken by poverty, violence, and hardship. Last year alone, the Salvation Army reached more than 11,000 people in Jackson County with food, shelter, and critical support. Behind every meal served, every family housed, and every life restored, there's a volunteer making it happen. Please join us. There are many ways you can volunteer and make a difference in someone's life today. The Salvation Army doing the most good together. This message made possible by the Oregon Health Authority Hospital-Based Intervention Grant.
Welcome home to the Dove, an encouraging place, an informative place, a safe network for your entire family.
Welcome home.
The Dove's mission is to be a beacon of truth, providing authentic faith-based content from a who's who of respected Christian teachers.
Welcome home to the Dove TV, radio, and the Dove.us.
Encouraging and informative. The Dove TV. More at theDove.us.
Okay, anyway, the news continues. The president gave a pretty interesting speech yesterday at the UN. He pretty much took on everything and everybody in his style.
Yeah.
And I think he was preceded by the fact that he goes into the UN and the elevator or the escalator, it stops. Literally, he and the First Lady step on it, and it stops. You got to ask yourself, really?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
He gets up to speak, and he starts to speak, and the teleprompter stops.
Right.
Anyway, I think all of this was obviously trying to throw him off, whatever his cadence is. But he got up and he gave this long speech. Well, out of that, Secretary Marco Rubio, he was on Fox and responded to the clip of the Turkish president taking a dig at the president's peace efforts with Russia and Ukraine.
I can only say this. Mr. Trump, you might remember he used a term when he said, I will finish the Russia-Ukraine war. Did it end? It still goes on. Similarly, he said, I will finish the war in Gaza. Did it end? No. That means once we start analyzing the issue, there are prices to pay. And when we look at the hostage exchange, that was done. It goes on.
I can only tell you that on both of those issues, on the case of Russia-Ukraine, the only leader in the world that has any chance of bringing it to an end is President Trump, which is why he has put more time and energy into it than anybody else. All these other countries, including Turkey, by the way, are begging us to be involved. They want us to be involved. Look, these people go out and say what they want to say, but at the end of the day, when they want something done, they want to come to the White House. President Erdogan is coming to the White House this week to meet with the president. They all come to the White House. They all want to speak to President Trump. They all want President Trump to fix it. So they can say whatever they want to say. The truth of the matter is that we have leaders, we have meetings going on today that we have leaders begging to be a part of it. They are calling saying, can we be included? Can you bring us in? Can you get me 5 minutes to shake the president's hand? He is the indispensable leader in the world right now. He is the only one who has any chance of not just brokering a deal to end the war with Russia and Ukraine, but also bringing about the war that's going and getting all the hostages released in Gaza. And I think he's put more time and energy into peace proposals and peace initiatives than anybody else in the world. And he's had the most success of anybody else in the world. He doesn't get a lot of credit, but let's not forget the DRC and Rwanda had a war going on. It's the president that's brokered that. Azerbaijan and Armenia. It's the president that brought that about. Thailand and Cambodia. Right. It's the president that brought the end of that about. India and Pakistan. That's just four right off the top of my head in the last few months. And the president's the one that did that, not any other leader in the world, and not the UN.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
And that's the point. And that's the point. I don't know where Erdogan can afford to get up and criticize the president like that,
especially when they're going to meet later.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but Turkey is now the sour player in the Middle East,
and a NATO member.
That's the oddity of the thing.
That is so odd. Yes.
Yeah. So he's not a good guy.
No, he's not. No,
so we'll see where this goes.
But wasn't it interesting, too? You know, Marco Rubio went through a number of the situations that the president has intervened in a number of wars. And the president was very quick to point out yesterday in the UN Assembly that the UN did nothing to help him. He said, I didn't get a call, I didn't get anything. And he...
Not even a thank you.
Nothing, right.
Yeah. 7 of them, by the way.
7, yeah.
Look, I realize he's pretty self-promoting.
Well, yeah, he's not going to let any of his accomplishments not be...
he does a good job of letting people know how great he is.
Absolutely.
Okay, but on the other hand, when you look at what has been done, you've got to ask yourself, why hasn't anybody else stepped up and done this?
Right, right. And, you know, Rubio put it quite well. He says nobody else is in a position to be able to do it. This is the only guy in the world right now that can do it.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. Yeah, all right, coming up, I have Richard Lyons. I always like to talk to him. We'll talk about some of the headlines, and in particular, the UN speech. So that's coming up.
Well, you know, they say birds of a feather flock together, but not in this case, where we see fur and feathers living together.
In Portland, Oregon, a real-life Disney friendship has taken flight between a border collie named Miko and a crow named Russell. It all began when Autumn Buck discovered a fallen nest in her yard. One chick hadn't survived, but another, trembling and too weak to walk, clung to life. Autumn built a tiny nest, fed the fragile bird, and hoped for the best. That's when Miko, her loyal border collie, stepped in. He became the little crow's guardian, watching over him day and night. What started as protection grew into something more. The two became inseparable friends. They napped together, fetched toys, and even tease each other like siblings. Autumn named the crow Russell after Russell Crowe, and though he now roosts in a nearby tree, every day he comes back to play with Miko. If Miko is inside, Russell even taps on the window until his best friend comes out. It's a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected friendships are also some of the most heartwarming.
It's just an amazing story.
I love it. And you know, two very intelligent animals there. Crows are very high on the intelligence level for birds, near the very top. And we know that the border collies, oh my goodness.
They're very smart.
Very smart. So you got these kind of meeting of the minds of a bird and a dog.
So if Russell goes out and finds a mate,
yeah,
and has a little family, does he bring the family over to Miko?
That's a great question. Would they nest in that tree that he stays in? It's interesting too because he's got freedom. He doesn't have to come hang around or anything like that, and which is also kind of an interesting balance that he knows how to live in the wild, even though he was reared, in captivity or at least sheltered.
Well, I've always been curious how animals can communicate.
Yeah.
So you have a bird and a dog, and somehow they're communicating.
Well,
you've seen other animals, horses and little girls communicate.
True. And, well, the old saying, wag more, bark less.
So can you and Pam have a conversation and not use words?
In an instant. I know when I'm in trouble right away. She doesn't even have to say anything. I know I stepped over the line.
So there is this silent language thing out there. Okay, I get it.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up.
That's okay. Well, isn't it interesting? You can look at a dog and they kind of know what you're looking at them with?
Yeah.
A dog knows when it's in trouble?
Right. I walk in and say, who did that? And they walk over there.
Yeah.
Say, he did.
He did.
He said, Russell, the bird did it.
Yeah. Well, when animals get domesticated, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing because they kind of enter our world.
Right.
But it's a bad thing because at the end of the day, they're an animal.
Yeah, right, and kind of, I think, messes with their defenses. But it's interesting, too, that this bird seems to kind of, have a little bit of both.
Yeah. We've seen these people, though, try to train whales, and then all of a sudden the whale eats them.
Yeah.
Or they fooling around with tigers in a cage, and all of a sudden the tiger attacks them.
Right. Or there's this guy that went up into Alaska, and he was like communing with the bears.
Yeah.
And they ate him.
They ate him.
They did.
Okay. All right. With that said, being a little encouragement today, Isaiah chapter 30, verse 18, the Lord longs to be gracious to you. Therefore, he will rise up to show you compassion. For the Lord is a God of justice. Blessed are all who wait for him. Take that with you today. Stick around. We got some great conversation coming your way.
They're fun-loving twins. They love God, hunting, and pranking each other. Join the Hamptons for outdoor adventure every weekend on Twin Factor. Brought to you by Black Flag Armory in Medford and Grants Pass. Truly excellent service.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Leiser with Leiser Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
Important topics, in-depth conversation. Focus Today, weekdays only on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and just perfect timing to have back with somebody that I have high regard for, Richard C. Lyons. He's a world historian, third-generation printer who has been involved in publishing for quite a while, television production throughout his professional career, and he's the author of a trilogy on the American government, with the latest and the third volume entitled Passage Through the Shadows. And there's a picture of the cover of that book on the screen. There's a series of these now, number 3, so you may want to check that out, a trilogy. And then he does have a website, richardclyons.com, and there is the picture of the landing page and a lot going on there. Brother Richard, good to see you, friend. How are you doing, buddy?
Oh, great to see you again, Perry.
Thank you. Wow. What'd you think of that UN speech from the president yesterday?
I thought it was spot on. I thought it was really spot on.
Has the UN ever received a speech like that before?
No, it's normally grandstanding and looking forward to the cocktail party after. And, you know, what he said with regard to the UN financing wars instead of ending them, that could not be more true with regard to the Middle East, as we have seen you and I for decades. Because all the money that they put in for humanitarian so-called aid goes to fund weapons.
Okay, so does it go anywhere?
I'm not sure. I think we're at an inflection point, Perry, in my view, between the nation-state idea and Trump's idea of America first and the globalist view. Whereby that's more the Brussels view of the EU, where it's a massive bureaucracy, a technocracy, and pretty much people have to do what they're told.
The globalists were also taken on by his speech when it came to climate change. He was very direct about that, and pointed out examples, and especially he took on wind energy. He took on what it cost. I mean, it was Trumpism at its best. But the point being is, he really went after the globalists yesterday, and it seems to be having some little bit of an impact. What do you think?
Well, I think, you know, the whole green energy thing was another advance of socialism, Perry, in my view. Within the United States, it was a massive amount of taxation for the redistribution of wealth from red states to blue states, from private companies to those advanced by the government. And so again, if you look at it globally, it's just another means of a massive bureaucracy, first funding itself, and then funding regulation, and then funding redistribution. It's socialism on steroids.
I asked this only out of curiosity because there's more coming out on it today. It seems to be highly unusual, if I can put it that way, Richard, that he ran into so many technical bumps getting to the stage. He walks on the escalator. The moment he and his wife step on the escalator, it stops. The moment he steps to the podium to speak, the teleprompter stops. And when it does get going again, it's intermittent. I know I don't want it to sound trivial here, but it seems to me, what's going on here?
The perfect word you used was the moment. It wasn't before, it wasn't after, it was the moment, and twice. So that doesn't sound like an accident. It sounds like more of the same thing that we get from the left. You know, the whole Russia hoax, what happened the moment that Trump got elected, the moment he came into office. All these things are not happenstance. They're not accidental. They're what happens when you're dealing with socialism and they don't win politically, as in the last election. They don't win economically, as with the Green New Deal. They don't win culturally, as with this Jimmy Kimmel windbag, who has no ratings. When you're not winning on those fields, socialism becomes like a spoiled brat and acts out in the manner of that escalator, or acts out as in, violence in cities and burning them down and assassinating people. This is how socialism acts out.
One other question here. And given the speech, and even prior to that speech, there were several articles floating around yesterday about the United States getting out of the UN. But the UN now has clearly proven itself to be impotent. I mean, they haven't done anything that advanced their original charter. Do you think it's done?
I think that statement is very true, Perry. They haven't. I always thought that the United Nations ought to be of nations united. So you're either for the rights of man, as espoused in this country, as espoused in France, where it didn't succeed to the degree that it did here, and that those nations should be united against what? Against the tyranny that we're seeing in states like Russia, China, and Iran. Right?
Yeah.
That should be the uniting basis. United economies, united politics, united ideologies. The United Nations has largely been a redistribution station for countries wanting to fund things like Hamas. And why would you ever do so?
You mentioned it briefly, and I only want to talk about it briefly, but Jimmy Kimmel was restored to the airways yesterday. Reading the transcript of his show a little bit, there's obviously no apology, no nothing. But what was also interesting from the broadcast side of things, and that's what I was looking at, when you take Netstar and you take Sinclair, representing close to 40 ABC affiliates saying, no, we're not going to run the show, it brings into the picture network affiliation agreement breaching. Now, ABC is a content provider. They do own some stations, but they're a content provider. Those who are network affiliates are usually privately owned, like Netstar or with Sinclair, and they decided not to carry it, so they breached the contract. We're seeing a new day in broadcasting.
I don't know about breach of contract because I haven't read the contract, but the fact is that's democracy in action. They're calling it a suppression of the First Amendment on the left. The fact is, though Sinclair and Netstar are bringing forward a product, they provide a product. Nobody has to provide a product by law. And if they find the product offensive, they have no obligation to provide it. So it is actually democracy in action. It's free enterprise, isn't it, Perry?
Yeah.
The consumer decides what they're going to buy. And that is Sinclair saying to Disney, look, I don't want this content. I know you're offering it to me. I don't want it. My people, the people who watch this program, who sponsor our sponsors, who consume their product, don't want to see this guy because he's a lying windbag.
Well, yeah.
So I believe it's democracy in action.
And more of that came out last night. It's going to be interesting when he gets dropped for the second time. It's heading in that road. There's no numbers there. Okay, well,
Yes.
we'll wait to see that. I want to come over to your response to Charlie Cook's memorial service. And I bring this up because 100,000 people got in, 20,000 went to a building next to it, 80,000 were turned away, and the analytics came out, 100 million people watched it online. What's that tell you, Richard?
Well, it says, it speaks well of America and what Charlie Kirk espoused. He espoused our original principles, which are, that's the foundation of the book, The DNA of Democracy. It's a celebration of freedom, the rights of the individual, rights of property, representative government, Judeo-Christian foundations. These are all wonderful systems that came together in the founding of our country, and they call it a miracle at Philadelphia when they refer to the Constitution. And it was. And we have a unique founding that's been beneficial not only to the people of our country, but to all the world who replicate those principles. And I think 100 million people viewing that was a remarkable number. I mean, what do you think of Jimmy Kimmel when you hear that number?
No, it's crazy. I want to read you something. We put out this. I don't know if you can see that where you are. We put out this.
Yes, I can.
This devotional called "The Word for You Today." I sit on the international board of this. We print about 48 million of these worldwide a quarter.
Wonderful.
Today, 11 million people read this in China. But I want to read you this. The bottom one of today is, on the top of the Statue of Liberty is a crown with 7 spikes depicting the 7 seas and the 7 continents, meaning wherever you are, you can come to America. At the bottom of the statue is a broken chain, meaning you can come to America and find freedom. But when you come, you must agree to honor the rules and the govern of the relationship.
Right.
We need to be reminded of that.
Yes, you cannot come to this country and then fight against its foundations. I mean, that's why come here and do that when you can be in Somalia and live in a country you're trying to create here.
Yeah, it's crazy. One other thing, there was a report yesterday that 54% of the liberals in this country and 40% of the registered Democrats thought that Charlie Kirk's assassination was understandable.
I find that reprehensible, and I really, that's a shocking number to me, and speaks to, I think, Perry, you'll agree, it speaks to the lack of education in this country. And of course, the Democrat Party have been in charge of that since the mid-1960s. They have had a monopoly on the education of this country. And that shows a very, not just a poorly educated population, but a morally shallow one.
Yeah, I question this, and I say it respectfully, but you wonder, how can you look at somebody being gunned down, cold murder, live on national television,
in front of his wife and kids,
and
in front of his children,
and say to yourself, it's understandable. I mean, it has to be soulless.
But it goes back to where the conversation started. When they don't achieve what they want politically, and this is historical, Perry. This goes back to the Bolsheviks. It goes back to the Maoists, to Mussolini and Hitler. When they don't get what they want politically, when they don't get it economically, when they don't get it culturally or educationally, they attempt to do so through violence, and find that to be an understandable method. Let's use their language. Whereas it's not. Our social compact, our Constitution, is all about how to reconcile our society without violence. Doing so, as Charlie was trying, through ideas and the exposition of one's argument, instead of with a gun.
Okay. Let me ask you one other quick question, take a break, because I have a big question on the other side of the break. Also this week, the President and RFK Jr. had the news conference in the White House, basically saying Tylenol and other drugs that carry that kind of ingredients can be traced to autism. This is a big deal, and it is also an attack on Big Pharma. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the finding is remarkable, and I mean, acetaminophen. I mean, how general is that? And if the findings are true, and given the new regime at HHS under RFK Jr., I have no reason not to believe that. And if it's true, we have a generation that was materially affected by a poisonous ingredient in an approved pharmacological product.
Well, I guess what's astonishing to this is there were 6 separate scientific researchers that sustained this report, and you got to ask yourself, why didn't they bring it up sooner?
Yeah, why wasn't that an FDA matter years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Why? No, I don't understand it. That's why you have an FDA.
Yeah. All right, let me take a quick break. Let me say to our viewers, check out Richard's website, richardclyons.com, and certainly check out his trilogy on American government. And the last volume, Volume 3, is out now, Passage Through the Shadows, and the one he had on behind him, the DNA. So check all that out. We'll be right back.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Have you seen Mornings on the Dove?
Iran did attack Israel yesterday, and that has escalated. This is the cost of freedom and liberation. It doesn't minimize the pain and the suffering here and the death.
G7 is interested in monitoring their program. Trump says, we're way past that.
Yeah.
We're eliminating it.
Dads have power in their words.
Wake up to information. Mornings on the Dove, weekdays.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
Experience evangelism like never before. Way of the Master, an award-winning reality TV show tackling hard questions and bold street witnessing that will leave you inspired. Watch Thursdays and Fridays on the Dove TV.
Okay, welcome back, and always honored to have with us Richard Lyons. He's an historian. He's written a series of trilogy books on the American government. The latest volume is now A Passage Through the Shadows. Behind him, there's a picture of the cover of that book. Behind him is also the picture of the DNA of democracy. Richard, they can get these just about anywhere?
Yes, they're offered as a series on Amazon. You can get a price break for it. But it's also at any retail outlet that you would ask for it, or on my website, I have a little shop.
All right. I'm just kind of curious. You write these as a trilogy and not a political commentary. What's behind that?
Well, because each volume serves a different purpose. The first volume is the how and why our government was created. In other words, the DNA of which it was born, because some people question how our country was born. They consider we have a living constitution, when our founders considered it the order of the ages. The left thinks it's the order of the day, and they can change it whenever they like. And in fact, Volume 2, Shadows of the Acropolis, is how the Democrats, since they became progressives during the presidency of Woodrow Wilson, and for the last 100 years have been changing our Constitution, mainly through the unenumerated power of the administrative state, have taken our country from being the constitutional republic it was, and concentrating more and more power in Washington, D.C., and how that affects every citizen in this country. Volume 3 is a series of articles I've been writing for the last 18 months, which goes through the battlegrounds that we're on, whether it's institutionally in Washington, whether it's in the education of this country, whether it's in the battle against faith in this country. So these are each distinct volumes, but they all lend to the general concept, how and why we were founded, how and why we're now governed, and where we are as a country. It's educational.
Beautiful. All right, check it out online. Also check out Richard's website, richardclyons.com. Richard, it appears to me that the left, the Democrats, have a leak now in all four tires.
We can only pray that that's true, Barry. Let's hope that damn jalopy gets off the road.
Well, it appears. It really does. I mean, they don't know how to deal with it, and they still are pedal to the metal. But the problem is they seem to have a leak in all four tires. They push back, and especially with this administration, is intensifying that.
No, and this goes to what we began the conversation with. Socialism got so far down the road that it became painful to our economy generally through the regulatory and tax regime that liberalism demands. It happened first right after the 1960s, after the Great Society was implemented. And then during Nixon's presidency, he actually went full socialism with price and wage controls, showing the damage socialism does to a country. And that ended up in the inflation that we experienced that only Ronald Reagan turned aside. Mm-hmm. So when you saw the Biden administration, the inflation of 20% in a couple of years that took away people's savings, that's the expression of socialism in our country. And Trump driving it back, driving down taxes, driving back regulation, freeing free enterprise to produce the fruits that it always does when not taken by the Democratic left for its programs. Endless programs, endless agencies. When you get the government out of the economy and out of people's lives, people have more prosperity and more freedom.
Well said. All right, I want to come back to something that happened yesterday as well. And the president, has seemingly done a 180-degree turn when it comes to Russia and Ukraine. And as you know, Russia has been provoking Europe with drones over Poland, now jets over Estonia, continuing to lob things inside Ukraine. He's not coming to the table, even though he said he would. So the president has done a 180-degree turn and saying Ukraine should get all of its land back. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I think it's a bold statement, and I have thought that true since they went into the Crimea under Obama. I mean, how was that allowed to happen? This goes back again to the Clinton administration when after the wall fell in Germany and Russia collapsed. The U.S. gave guarantees to Ukraine that if they were the third largest nuclear power at the time, because all of the Soviet facilities were in Ukraine, right? Mm-hmm. If we told them, if you give up your nuclear weapons, we will guarantee the security of and the physical integrity of your nation. And they said, okay, we'll do it. And they took their weaponry down. And this is what happened during Obama. He did not honor the security promise of the Clinton administration. He just let Russia go into Crimea and said, oh, terrible thing, isn't it? And then again under Biden, another Democrat presidency, they took more of Crimea knowing Biden wouldn't lift a foot, or whoever was president at the time. I think Obama was president during the Biden presidency. And so we're at a point where, Russia is not even responding to anything that Trump is saying. Every week they're killing 7,000 people and doing nothing in response to Trump's pleas for peace. So, yeah, it's about time they were told, we'll take it all back. You won't come to the table, we'll take it all back.
A couple other things quickly here. It has taken 3 years for them not to win this war, which shows a lack of sophistication in their military. And when they were seen on the ground in Ukraine, they seemed to be totally inept with very poor equipment. And don't you think this also has to have a response to China and India doing business with Russia? So if the president's going to get involved here, he's calling NATO to come in, will come in, but he also has, pardon the pun, the trump card to put pressure on China and India not to do business with Russia. Do you think that's going to come about?
Well, this is another thing in our topics today, Perry. The United Nations. Why does that exist?
Yeah.
It should exist to say if you're killing 7,000 people a week, it's wrong. And we will unite against you economically, which is what Trump is trying to do with Europe, trying to do with India and China. And to say if you're going to fund this war any further, we're not going to be friends.
Okay. What do you think this means? I mean, do you think we're all of a sudden more money's going to go to Ukraine without accountability? I mean, how's this going to be held here?
No, I think they have an architecture whereby we will send weapons to Europe that they will purchase and supply to Ukraine. That's the point now. But what people are not realizing is the tremendous drain on military-age men in Russia that this war has cost. It is why they're bringing in mercenaries from North Korea.
Okay.
And if we attack their economy further, I mean, how long are people going to put up with Putin?
Well, that's a good point. But the president is also putting pressure on NATO to get involved.
Yes, to the extent that they are going to, they will say, Russia, we're not dealing with you any further economically. If you do flyovers in our territory, we will shoot them down. We are no longer going to be kind because you're being cruel.
I can't help but think that there is another possible motive here, and I want to say this carefully, but if we're going to go 100% behind Ukraine now, the offset would be maybe total control of the rare earth materials in that country.
Well, again, they have an agreement that we have rights to purchase rare earths from Ukraine, and I think that is a sufficient economic tie. I don't know that a larger one helps, but what we don't want, I don't think, and this is my thinking, I don't think the Trump administration wants to get involved in the war in Ukraine. It would be sufficient if everyone agreed in Europe that is a part of NATO not to deal with Russia and buy any oil whatsoever. If India wants to do business with the United States and have favorable trade agreements with the United States, they should not fund Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just point blank. And if you put enough pressure that way, there will be no need for boots on the ground.
Yeah. By the way, the president did say that to the prime minister there in the UK, the new one, and saying, you guys got to buck up and not buy the oil. It looks like France might be on board with that because France is very pro-Ukraine. So if they can convince some of the larger, Germany may even be on board with that. But the point being is the one that you've just made. If Europe stops buying oil, the president puts sanctions and tariffs on India and China, Russia collapses. Unfortunately,
it becomes an empty gas station.
Yeah.
It's an empty gas station.
Yeah, that's what it is. Hey, good to see you, friend. Thanks for your time. I always value it. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, go to richardclyons.com is the website, and check out his trilogy. The volume 3 now is out, Passage Through the Shadows. I think it's basically, look, 3 books of the U.S. history right up to the current times. Good stuff. Thank you, Richard. God bless your friends. Stay in the fight.
No, thank you, Perry. You too. Wonderful to be with you.
Thank you.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
Life is complicated enough. Why worry about what to do with your extra car? Skip the costs of maintaining it, storing it, insuring it, or renewing registration. Car repairs? Forget about it. Here's one easy solution to your car problem. Donate it to our station. It's fast, free, tax deductible, and if you donate, you're going to feel incredible knowing you're supporting quality programming. Interested? Just call this toll-free number or donate online. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back, and I've been waiting to have our special guest today. It's been quite a while since I've had him in. Bud Amundson, he's the executive director of Youth 715 here in Southern Oregon. Outstanding organization that's been working with young people for 922 years now.
At least.
Yeah, you look like it too. Anyway, it's just amazing what you guys do. It's just, I hear nothing but just fantastic things constantly from your organization. So I'm going to say thanks.
Yeah.
And I know you got a great team.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It's a powerful team and folks that the Lord has called into the lives of kids. And it's been a privilege and mostly fun leading.
Well, give us a quick update. What are you guys up to? What have you been doing? You got, I don't know how many outlets now.
Yeah, so we've got 10 different facilities around Jackson and Josephine County. Still working with around 1,000 to 1,200 kids. I haven't checked the numbers here recently, but yeah, just, you know, our mission says we share God's story of hope with young people through trusting relationships in any relevant way. And so we're working with vocational training, we're mentoring, we're working with teen parents, we're doing the traditional campus clubs and neighborhood ministries. And we have just recently opened up a new ministry methodology, and that's adventure. And that's mountain biking, and as we expand it, it'll be, you know, backpacking and outdoor pursuits. So
the need's gotten greater, not less.
No, that's exactly right. It's you know, things have changed, and you know, kids are. Man, there's just so much to unpack here. So you know, we have moved from a post-Christian culture to a pre-Christian culture, and kids are realizing that this world, our society, is just offering them more confusion instead of clarity, and that's where we have an opportunity like I've never seen. I've been in the game for 34 years, and kids are hungry for truth. They're looking for what is real and authentic, what they can trust. They've been told for decades to look inside themselves to find their truth and strength. There's nothing inside me that's going to offer any of that. And so they're looking, they're going, okay, what that just leads to more confusion and anxiety. What can I count on?
We've had George Warner on many occasions, and he's saying and seeing an amazing trend among young males.
Yes.
Making a decision and heading to church. I mean, it's like, what? There's like a silent revival going on with young men. Are you seeing that?
Yes, absolutely. There's this hunger, like I've mentioned, but again, they're looking for clarity. They're looking for truth. So, I mean, obviously Charlie Kirk is in the news, and that whole situation has created just all this energy, right?
Yeah.
And but I think Charlie Kirk was just very gifted in drawing clear lines, right? He could be controversial, and he could say things that were abrasive, and yet that's where young people are going, well, he just drew clear lines. He said this and not this. And we're seeing, again, young people pursuing that, and the young men have been really shown as the problem for the last few decades.
Right.
And that's where, no, you're the solution.
Yeah.
Have a plan. Don't look inside yourself. Look to the Lord,
right.
and get active, get busy.
I think one of the things about the Charlie Kirk thing that we have that we're trying to process, we're shocked of how deep he got into the young community. In other words,
right.
Young people literally mourned his loss, and you kind of go, we didn't even know that he had that big of an impact that far down.
Sure.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Wow.
Yep, and there's opportunity like we've never seen. And I know we're here to kind of talk about the
other thing, but I will come back to that.
Bit. Yeah,
and I also want to plug your upcoming benefit auction, because I always have fun with it. The reason you make so much money on that auction, because I'm driving it up on the side.
Thank you.
Okay. All right,
we have a number of those folks.
Yeah, well, okay. Bring us up to, you guys been involved in one of the most interesting lawsuits where you were given grants through the years. All of a sudden you were denied because you were faith-based. You had the Alliance Defending Freedom group get back involved in this and help you. You got a victory, then all of a sudden things got confusing. We have Mark with us there. He's on the screen there with us.
Hey, Mark.
Mark is the senior counsel there with Alliance Defending Freedom.
Correct.
Give us a snapshot of the case.
Snapshot of the case is... Yeah, Mark, why don't you go ahead and...
Yeah, give us a snapshot of the case, Mark.
Sure, yeah, well, thank you for having me. So the common sense basis here is every religious organization has a right to be religious, and a quintessential feature of religious organizations are a right to hire people who share their faith and don't undermine it or contradict it. And so that's a primary common sense foundational principle that the state of Oregon simply got wrong, and the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals is confused. And so, as you mentioned, I mean, Youth 715 Ministries is an inspirational youth mentoring organization that is unabashedly Christian and successful because of its faith. And the state of Oregon has awarded and applauded 715 Ministries year after year. It's received competitive grants time and time again, and has been mentioned by the state as a model organization for serving young people. And so all of that was going well, and they received yet another competitive grant recently. But on a dime, the state reversed course and pulled its funding because it found out that as a religious organization, Youth 71.5 hires religious people to share its message. And so even though Youth 71.5 Ministries serves all children of any background, of any belief, it's simply that because they hire people who are able to convey and share the faith in an inspiring way, the state suddenly pulled all of its funding. So unfortunately, we had to file a lawsuit, and the district court judge in Oregon not only denied our motion to stop this religious discrimination against 71.5 Ministries, the district court actually dismissed the entire lawsuit out of hand, even though the state didn't even ask for that outcome. And so it was just like an oversight that even the state recognized was a mistake. And so we rushed to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. We filed an emergency motion to get that resolved, and the emergency panel in the Court of Appeals said, yeah, that's right, you can't dismiss the case, and we're going to enter an injunction or an order saying that the state has to give back the awarded funds, and that the state can't engage in this religious discrimination until the full, the Court of Appeals can review it more fully. So the Court of Appeals finally got around to reviewing it more fully, and a few weeks ago issued a decision saying, for the most part, the state can discriminate against religious organizations like Youth 71.5 Ministries and can force it to hire people who don't share their faith. And they really narrowed the relief that we got to just basically Youth 71.5 can hire religious people to share its faith, but only in the parts of its organization that don't interact with this grant program. But the problem is, as a Christian organization, you have a right to determine who conveys your message, period. And like most religious organizations, every single person in your organization is going to have a really important role in sharing and crafting your message. And so we have just filed it's called a petition for rehearing en banc, which basically means we want the entire Ninth Circuit slate of judges to review this issue. And they've done that in similar religious liberty cases and have said, well, this three judge panel on the Court of Appeals got it wrong, and the entire circuit, we need to prevent that from creating more confusion. So we're hopeful that the Court of Appeals will correct this issue.
Wow.
A lot.
I'm kind of stunned. So if it goes back to the Court of Appeals, and you're asking all of the judges to look at this, is there a little bit of a worry that they could get slapped down again?
I think there's always that potential, and it's kind of from what I've been told from Jeremiah at ADF, is that it's a kind of a long shot for 29 justices that are part of the Ninth Circuit Court to actually agree to review it. So that's where we're praying that they will reconsider. That 15 out of 29 will vote to review it. We'll get that review, and we'll see a more appropriate outcome. The frustration, obviously, from our side and the ministry side is that the state is simply saying, it's fine, you can have your message, but you can't have public funds that you're not using to proselytize, but you can't participate in what everybody else gets to participate in because of your Christian message. And the reality is, I still believe that we should rescue every tax dollar we can and put it to good use and appropriate use, and we've fulfilled that contract in terms of saying, hey, we put these dollars to use in teaching vocational skills and keeping the doors open at our youth centers. And they're saying, well, just because you have the nerve to hire and engage volunteers, that you require them to believe in your statement of faith, that nixes you from the program.
So, to both of you, Mark, maybe primarily to you, isn't this a little hypocritical? Because aren't there others that receive this grant that may not be religious-based, but are certainly agenda-driven based, that do this all day long?
That's absolutely right. And so we've looked at other people who've been awarded these grants. And I'll reiterate that Youth 71.5 Ministries serves all youth of any background, of any race, of any gender, of any religious belief. It's simply that they want Christian employees or Christian volunteers who are able to convey their message. But the other people who've been awarded grants, there are organizations that plainly, like in their names and on their websites, they plainly state, we only serve girls, for instance, or we only serve immigrants from Africa. That's our role. And that's fine if that's what if there's an organization that's called to only serve girls, whatever, that's fine. But it is a flagrant double standard to turn a blind eye to those organizations. There are about a half a dozen that we highlighted in our briefing that on their face and on their websites state that they only serve, they're receiving these dollars to serve everyone, and they're not. And that's given a pass, and they're given significant amounts of taxpayer funding. But then they blow the whistle and come out of the woodwork to punish Youth 71.5 because it's religious, and that's just not constitutional.
All right, I understand I have you for a short time, but let me ask you one other quick question. And I'm asking this a little bit out of not with total information, but I have been following something that the Trump administration now has signed, I guess, an executive order that allows organizations like Youth 71.5 and others. In other words, the Trump administration is recognizing that faith-based organization gets the job better, more efficiently. And I'm wondering if something at the federal level might have an impact at the state level.
I mean, it can certainly help. But there just are going to be issues like this where there are state programs, and we've highlighted many here at Alliance Defending Freedom, where there's this fundamental principle that the Supreme Court's reiterated 3 times in the last decade, that you can't have a public benefit program and invite private organizations to participate, but then say, no, you can't join if you have a religious character or if you're engaged in a religious activity. And that's precisely what's happening here. And so even though, those are some helpful and welcome executive orders and things from the federal level, there are still so many problematic state programs, and it requires some lawsuits and some good appellate rulings to stop states from engaging in that discrimination.
Well, thank you. I know you got to go. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, adflegal.org is Mark's organization. They've been around a long time doing a lot of work, and support them, adflegal.org. Mark, let's stay connected. I'm going to keep Bud here. I got to work him over a little bit longer. But thank you. Thank you. And thank you and your organization for sticking with it, and prayers with you that this makes it all the way through. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be right back.
Thanks, Mark.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm Guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
I think death in itself scared me as a young kid. I always had the Holocaust in my mind. I actually thought someone may break into our house at any time and just kill us all. And many Jews just believe, when you die, and that's it. I just thought that somehow I had to get an answer, and I had to go direct to the Lord somehow and say, what about death? What happens after death?
Watch the 700 Club Wednesday morning at 11 on the Dove TV.
Put your gold in an envelope, mail it. Hopefully you get a check. Nah. Father and son jewelry, bring your gold in, we weigh it, we check it, we make you the offer.
Or turn your something old into something new. Whether it's an idea, a picture, or a piece you want to duplicate, we can melt it down and make it for you.
If you find your perfect piece in store, trade your something old for something new, and you always get a little extra.
Visit Father and Son Jewelry, 5 generations of family in Medford.
Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
Welcome back. Always a delight to have my sailmate here with me. Bud Robinson, he's the executive director of Youth 71.5. Can't say enough about him and his organization. Well, listen, our prayers and thoughts with you. This has been an amazing battle. It's been going on, 2 years now?
2 years.
2 years now. Yeah, so thoughts and prayers. I just want to say to our viewers and listeners, if you're familiar with Youth 71.5 and anybody throughout the region, down this part of the country, throughout the Pacific Northwest, one of the largest Christian-based youth impact mentoring organizations in the area, and I would say go online and support them. Now, one way you can do it, we have their annual Youth 71.5 benefit auction coming. When is that? What's the date?
When is it?
Is it?
It's going.
Yeah, I know.
It started yesterday. And goes till October 6th. So we got a couple weeks to.
Yeah. So you can go online at 71.5 benefit auction. Now, this is really cool because I won't let all the cats out of the bag, but I scrolled down through this, and you'll be getting some plugs from us. But we kind of run it on the screen and look at the things that are there. You got everything there.
We do.
You got everything. I mean, you can get dinner, you can get your car fixed, you can get a dog. I don't know. You got everything there. But all that, these are all donated items. It's an auction online, and you bid against these things, and all that goes to their organization. And with this loss of this grant, we got to make that up. So it's pretty interesting. It'll go on for quite a while here.
Yes. First I just want to reiterate what you said about ADF. They are the real deal and fantastic folks, and have really they've made that constitutional fight possible, right? As far as the auction, obviously we should have opportunity to use public funds appropriately.
Yeah.
But that's been pulled, right?
Yeah.
So that's where our community and particularly the church has to step in. And so we try and make that fun through events, golf tournaments and that, and the auction. And the auction's awesome because you have 2 weeks to be in your pajamas and you can scroll the what is it? 473 items that we have, and those things are, as you said, I don't think we can get a dog. I'm not sure. There might be, but
Jerry's got a couple he wants to get rid of.
Tell him to give us a call. Anyway, that's where, whether it's oil changes or coffee cards or restaurants, vacation packages, there are everyday items and incredibly unique items.
Can you guys bring up that website, 715.org? You have it, and we can show you how to click through there. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And then you can click on that, and can you guys click on that?
Yeah, right there's the auction. And
yeah, click the auction button, and then you'll start seeing the items, 400 and something items there. We'll see, there they go.
Well, so that takes you to our flyer on that, and then there's a link there, and then you go on to sign into the auction, and then you can
start bidding.
Explore so it might be a few more clicks.
A couple clicks, but look, it's really cool to do it, and it's on its way, and it'll go up through I think October 6th. I think? Okay, correct. Yeah.
Yep.
And so go on there and bid high.
Yeah, and I'll be right there behind you to bid it up a little further.
I won't tell you which ones I'm pushing, but there's a couple out there that I've already kind of eyeballed on that. Well, that's a good way to offset what you're doing and offset what you've lost. And yet, I know in operating ministries today, I will say this about Youth 71.5. It's like $1 in and $10 out. You guys are kind of like the Loaves and the Fishes organization, like other nonprofits here. Somehow God multiplies it in your hand to get the job done.
He does, and it is. I have the best seat in the house to see God at work.
Yeah.
And I tell folks, come volunteer, and that's where you'll have the best seat in the house to see God at work. It'll be challenging, it'll be frustrating, it's harder than you think, but you see God at work, and as I was telling Terry moments ago, it's more about what God's going to do in you than what you're going to do for God. And that intimacy that active ministry engages is powerful. And coming back to this moment in history, there is an opportunity that we haven't seen, who knows for how long, how many decades. And in this moment, it is a very confusing time. Kids are looking for truth, and the reality is, nothing has changed. We still focus on loving God, loving our neighbor, making disciples. God is giving us these 3 simple but profound commands to do, right? And so that's our deal, 71.5. We are going to be focused on our love for the Lord and trust in Jesus, His Son, and we are going to do all things to His glory. At the same time, we're going to love our neighbor, and that means we're going to love folks, our kids, but also other community members, even before the Lord transforms their life, even before the Holy Spirit's at work in that setting. And we're going to love people even though they curse us, as Christ commands, right?
Yeah, and I want to emphasize the term volunteer. You always need them. And I want to say, I don't know if God's tugging on your heart, but if you want your life change, go volunteer with Youth 71.5, and God will change you as you help someone else's lives to be changed. But to your point is that it's an amazing thing. I do know this, it takes patience.
Yes, it does.
You have patient pills down there?
It's called the Holy Spirit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
and that is the beauty of it. It does take patience, but it builds an intimacy with God. Your faith has to grow because you get put into positions that you have to rely on Him. You fall in love with these kids that are hurting and struggling, and you are waiting because nobody other than the Holy Spirit can change a heart.
That's right.
And so you show them love and you give the truth, but you have to wait until the Holy Spirit goes, here, it's true and it's real.
All right, 715.org. 715.org is the website. There's a picture of the landing page. Click on the auction and sign up for that. Be a part of it. It's going to be there for a couple of weeks and a lot going on. Over 400 items. There's a little bit of a sample there. And bid often, bid high.
Amen.
And pray for Youth 71.5 as they struggle with this suit. And God's gonna use this, and God is using this.
It is.
Thank you, buddy. Love you. Love your
Thank
patience
you.
and your commitment. All right, we'll see you next time.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
Hey, this is Ed, co-owner of Visiting Angels. To continue to serve our seniors, we need more caregivers with a heart to serve. Our mission statement is honoring the art of giving, which means we honor you, the caregiver. We know it's our people that make Visiting Angels the best in-home care provider and a great place to work. Come be our next amazing caregiver. Give us a call or apply online. At Visiting Angels, we're committed to you because we honor the art of giving.
Worried that inflation might burst your retirement bubble? I'm Michelle Slate. Lighthouse Financial shines guiding light on retirement, investing, and insurance. Helping you navigate the stormy seas of retirement, Lighthouse stands tall as a beacon of hope, offering you wise counsel and biblically responsible investing. Lighthouse Financial. Call us today, 541-494-1034.
Experience evangelism like never before with the award-winning Way of the Master, Thursday and Friday on the Dove TV.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove, where just about anything goes here, including Jerry building. Yes, sir.
Yeah, has the FCC checked into this?
Well, you know, I was going to call Chairman Carr and say, hey, are we okay?
Are they preoccupied with Kimmel?
Well, you know, it's interesting. He went back on the air last night. I saw bits and pieces of it. It is what it is. But the real story behind it is that 2 of the largest owners of ABC affiliates said no.
Yeah, was it Nexstar
and Sinclair?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, 40 plus ABC affiliates across the country didn't carry the program.
Wow.
So this sets up a new argument. I talked to Troy Miller about this yesterday. This sets up a new argument of affiliation agreements between stations and a network like ABC. ABC is a network. It's not. They do have stations, but it's a company that provides content. And so when you have 40 plus affiliates saying we're not going to carry your program because it's not in the best interest of the public, I think they have market exclusivity, which they have to protect. So it's a new day. I mean, I've been in this thing for a long time, and all of a sudden we got new problems going on.
Yes, indeed.
So I have, you know, the only thing. Anyway, so much for that. Let's move on. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. One more warm day.
Yeah, today and then about 10 degrees off tomorrow. You know, going back down.
Yeah, and what's interesting about all this is that it's sure nice late evenings.
Yeah.
It cools off really fast.
Oh, man.
You know?
Yeah.
I got enough acorns to sink a ship.
You know, isn't it interesting? Every fall we have the acorn discussion and what it means.
It means,
if anything,
it's God's way of fattening the deer and the outdoor animals for the winter because they are high and fat.
Does God provide extra acorns on the seasons that He's going to give us a lot of snow and moisture? How does it work?
Okay, now I don't mean this in any kind of a disparaging way.
Okay.
So what I'm about to say, hang on.
All right.
Indians had this down. They figured it out.
Okay.
They could feel the seasons better than anybody else and predict them.
Yeah.
And part of it was if it's a early heavy acorn fall, that's an indication of a pretty intense winter.
Okay. Well, it was funny.
And I think there's some real science behind that.
Yeah. Well, Pam and I were out doing stuff in the yard yesterday, and we paused. We were chatting for a second. All of a sudden, she heard a
Yeah.
She goes, what was that? I said, acorn.
I know. They hit your gutter?
Yeah.
You think a gun went off.
Absolutely.
Anyway, good morning to you. A lot going on in the news. There always is. Quite the speech yesterday at the UN. A little bit of highlights on that. Well, Jimmy Kimmel went back on the air last night, but I think it was a whole lot of nothing, which, okay, we'll go with that. And what do you got?
Put an exclamation mark on it. It is National Punctuation Day.
Oh.
Does anybody use it anymore? Is anybody writing, long form and putting a period and a comma and a semicolon